Crime
is a show where I, Rich Slaton, read a true story about lawbreakers.
with his organic and highly sexualized partner, John Shefsky.
You're organic now?
Yeah, asshole.
Oh, okay.
All right.
You look totally GMO.
Introduce our guest and stop being a jerk to me.
First, let's play the music.
Let's put it.
Crime is the show that starts now.
Oh, like right now?
Oh, yeah. Do your line.
Okay. Each week, Rich reads a real crime story. I don't know a word that rhymes with story.
And my homie John always has the hot riff. He really loves it when you send...
Don't send anything
them
to me. Don't you dare.
Crimepodcast@gmail.com.
Don't you send
Label
anything.
it John Shefsky. He loves them. Make sure the lighting's really good. All right, guys. Great show today. Shefsky and I are really excited to have these two on. You might know them from a number of things, including the infamous Boner City podcast, the most requested shirt at the Comedy Store.
What a great name.
Two people.
Yeah,
two
people
wanted them.
Very funny. Jeff, Danis, Ryan O'Neill, Danish and O'Neill. I didn't prep you on that they have
how
a
to
name
say it
together.
right.
Yeah.
But it sounds delicious.
Yeah,
It
usually
sounds
we yell the name
surf
together.
gear and really tasty pastries right there.
It's
Danish and O'Neill.
We're former pro bodyboarders.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like
Both
that.
of you?
No,
you're not.
More so amateur, but
They seem like they're in pretty good shape. There's a bicep over there I'm seeing. Huh?
we have 4 biceps between us.
You were a race car driver.
Amateur race car driver, yes.
yeah.
Open wheel race car. That was my original dream.
I don't even know what that means,
My
open wheel.
backup plan was to do this.
Like a Formula One car open wheel?
Your backup plan was the worst backup plan?
yeah, it wasn't
Oh, good.
a backup plan at all.
Hey, don't knock stand-up comedy.
What?
Okay. Well, you can.
That was O'Neill, by the way. This is Danish. A lot of people always ask who's who.
Oh, which
Who's
one's
who?
which?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Which one is Pink? Remember from Pink Floyd? All right.
When it's audio, it's tough. It's tough to tell.
It's tough to decipher.
Well, I can hear you both.
If you can hear the mustache, you'll know who is who.
John St. John Long
Whoa.
I had to say it twice. John St. John.
was born in 1798 in Limerick County, Ireland.
That's a good year.
How would you say that if you were Irish?
Limerick County, Ireland.
No,
You
try,
say
try harder.
Is it Limerick?
Limerick.
Limerick?
Limerick County, Ireland.
Did they make up the
Is
limerick?
that the
Probably.
origin?
Doesn't that seem like it?
That's where he's from. I don't know how you say it correctly as a dirty Irish.
Did
But
they make up the Man from Nantucket one?
Oh,
Ooh,
yeah.
that's one of the best
Whose
ones.
limerick was so long he could fuck it? Wait, is it suck it?
That's how it goes.
I like to say
you
fuck.
nailed it.
I
Dude.
think there's a lot of different versions of
Yeah,
that
there is.
limerick.
That's what?
John was the second son of Protestant parents and St. John and John Long,
Okay.
a basket weaver and jack of all trades.
A basket weaver and other things.
Well, yeah, he
If
started.
that's your number one thing on your fucking resume is basket weaver, and then amongst a
But I
jack
can also
of all
do,
trades.
yeah, I also paint, and I'm a rat killer, if you have rats.
To be fair, he
I
was an
also
open
knit.
wheel basket weaver.
Wait,
so.
can you-
okay.
What did you say? I got confused with the St. John and John
Yeah,
part.
there's a lot of
There's
Johns
a
in
lot
there.
of John going on.
Did he have gay parents? St.
His
John
mom-
and John?
His dad is John Long,
Okay.
John Long.
That sounds
Right.
like a shitty rapper from the 80s.
John
or the
Long.
best
John
porn name.
Yeah,
Long.
John Long. That's not what they call me.
And his mom was Anne St. John.
Wow. That was
And-
meant to be.
Yeah.
It sounded like you said and St. John.
And
So when you said the
Andy
whole thing,
St. John.
John, yeah, John Long and St.
Very
John.
progressive Irish 1798 family somehow fucked and made a gay baby.
Hey, if we do act outs in this episode, like do we probably have to have an Irish voice?
I have none.
Should everyone practice their? Yeah, yours pretty much suck.
O'Neill is Irish.
voice there.
Ugh.
So I think his
that
natural
is an
voice
Irish name.
counts.
O'Neill.
Yeah. I'm representing the St. John clan.
Give us your best Irish accent. Right now.
Throw another shrimp on the bobby.
Nailed it, dude.
Yeah, dirty
That's
Irish.
That's Austrian, dude. That's
Rap
from
it.
Germany.
Yeah, they're the worst.
They
No,
are.
the worst of the whites is the Russians, by far. The worst,
what
I
do you
think.
mean?
If you live in Hollywood, you can easily attest to that.
Yeah.
No, the Russians are the most fucked up white people of all
feeder
time.
white.
Yeah.
It's so garbage. Well, now
Any Eastern European or Russian, it's and you know I don't want to condemn an entire race, but
They
I
did it
will
themselves.
I will, yeah.
Well, you've seen all those
They've all
videos of
survived,
car.
like, what?
We see all
the
those videos of
stuff?
car crashes where there's always
Yeah,
they have a
it's always
dash
the
cam.
da- dude,
You know
I-
why they have those videos, right?
Yeah, everyone's
because there's
scheming
so
each
many
other there.
insurance
'Cause,
claims.
yeah, no one-
Everybody schemes each other.
That's how fucking crazy that stupid.
I've had Russian movers twice, and they've schemed me twice. And then I had
What'd they do?
Mexican movers.
What, they just took your furniture
They just
and left
they
with
did
it?
stuff. They, like we were like really nice to them and kind of lenient. Like, oh yeah, no, take your break and do this and that. And then eventually they ended up like they came to us at the end of the day with like these giant bill, and we're like, dude, you guys moved so slow, like for half of it, like, but they knew what they were like. It was calculated. and then I had
those
movers.
cunts.
Then
You
the
paid
last,
by the hour for your movers?
yeah, dude.
Was it this?
Wait, do you just pay by the load?
You talking
I didn't-
coming?
Yeah, I know how. This is a room full of men. Pay by what load? I love to pay by.
Was
the
it
load.
the same two
No,
guys
and then-
both times?
and
They're
the-
like, oh shit, we did it again.
yeah, comrade. I was like, face palm.
No, I'm not Olaf. I'm Vladimir. He's Olaf.
Yeah, that's right. That's a great Russian accent.
Thank you.
Can
Irish is
please
not one
apply
of
it to
my.
Ireland?
Not one of my. I have Scottish and I have.
What's the difference between
Russian.
Scottish and Irish accent? Not the people. I don't want to offend anybody here.
Scotch-Irish.
But the Scottish and Irish accent.
There's a huge difference
There's a huge
between
difference.
them
I
as
there's
a
a huge
people.
distance.
There really is not. There's no
But
difference.
as an American, like you're just like it's like is
Well,
it
the
is it
Scottish accent is a little more
Barcelona or-
guttural. It sits more in the back of the throat the entire time. Like,
Yeah, the other ones, don't touch
The
me,
Irish is a-
Lucky Charms.
yeah, it's high and
most
dinkly. It's just terrible.
You have about 100 pages in front of you, by the way.
I have 13 pages.
We've made it through 3 lines
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah, going to be a good one today, guys.
All right, go.
Surprisingly, the family did not have very much money.
Well, oh, you mean the basket weaving?
I know, right? Isn't it so weird?
Dude, that was a huge industry in 1798.
It still
I'm
didn't pay
shocked.
well. It was a huge industry, but
It
the
just-
competition was fierce.
it's
It's like
true.
comedy nowadays. There's tons of comedy to be had.
It was saturated.
Oh yeah.
So when John Jr. showed a talent for drawing, local townspeople came together and raised the money to send him to study art professionally at the Royal Dublin Society's School for Design.
Was he just playing fucking Pictionary out in like the town square? It's like,
So,
hey,
like-
John's got some talent. Let's fucking do a Kickstarter for him. Get him to school.
That's
Is that a
right.
horse? No, it's a cow. All right, go to school.
Also, how
Throw
much
you in.
money would it take to send him across Ireland? It's not a very big country.
It's
Well, you
just a
have to
cold
pay-
trip. I just feel like it's
I,
very dank.
I feel like
cold
it's
trip.
like a day's horse ride to get to Dublin from wherever Limerick is.
Yeah, but they're all basket weavers, so they don't even have money. They're just like, well, here's some rope.
So what they give him is all his furniture just made out of baskets?
May have been
shavings.
a hot air balloon with a basket that he weaved.
That's what I go for.
Could be.
That's how I travel right now, actually.
John left for Dublin in 1816, returning to Limerick 2 years later.
How old was he at this point?
Well, he was born in 1798, so
He was
math.
18.
There you go.
Yeah,
Look at
you
that.
do the math.
Look at that. See, the Irishman can do some math. Proud
Well,
of you,
he's a
bud.
race car driver. He's got to be able to
Good point.
calculate.
Look at the big brain on Brad.
Ooh,
For a
good
short
reference.
time, John St. John Long, or at this point still just John Long, we'll get to that in a moment.
Long John Silver.
For a short time, he
I'd like to
supported
go there.
himself by giving art lessons.
Is that-
Sweet.
is
To the
that-
people of Limerick?
Yes,
that-
to the other 7 people of Limerick.
Sounds like an excuse to fuck housewives.
Yeah, well,
It's like,
that's-
hey, let me get in. We'll teach you some drawing. I'll hold your hand.
Are
Let's
these like
fucking go.
door-to-door lessons? Like just knocking? Hey, do you want to, maybe you want to...
Probably in those days that was like the spam email.
He's like,
It was
here's
just
my
like,
cock.
yeah.
Why don't you draw that? Now draw it in
I don't know
your
if you could
mouth.
do that up front. I think you'd have to be romantic about it.
Hey, in 1816, anything
when
goes.
do you think cock drawings started getting veiny? Because I feel like cock drawings
Have you
for
seen,
a long time.
Have you seen the old Japanese drawings?
Were they
the wood
veiny
block-
in those
Oh,
ones?
dude, they're awesome. They look
Oh.
Wait,
dude,
how
yeah.
old are we?
Like those old, like 16th century, like the woodblock carving.
Oh,
like
they put a lot of vein in it?
1700s or- Dude, they did a lot of cool stuff. Their cocks
But
are
they also
on
drew
point.
like
And their
pictures of
pubes are really
octopuses
cool, too.
fucking humans, so that's a
Yeah.
whole different thing.
I don't know if they used to do that. They do that now.
No. That the octopi fucking humans thing goes way back in Japanese art. It's like part of a Japanese folk tale
Well,
or
what's
something.
the Irish equivalent to that? Tell me now.
Fucking
Potatoes?
potatoes.
Potato fucking?
Yeah, there we go.
Mr. Potato Head actually is
warm
an
it up.
Irish invention.
I think it's leprechaun fucking.
Ooh,
Octopus.
I like fucking an octopus.
I'd watch that.
In 1822, John Long made 2 big moves. First,
How old was he in
Yeah, how old was he?
1822?
You
He
know
was
my fucking demands. If you're gonna tell a
24
story,
years old.
you
24
tell me
years
how
old,
old the
dude.
characters are. Wow, that's
He
good.
could drink
O'Neill crushing the game.
in Ireland age. He could drink for 24 years at that point legally.
His mom probably drank while she was pregnant with him, which is why he was good at drawing.
He's not good at drawing, but they're all so retarded
He's
from
so
over
drunk.
drinking.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, this is great.
That Irish accent is you got to work on it.
That one's Scottish, actually,
Oh,
halfway
this is
through.
great.
Yeah,
Lodgy.
this
Hey!
is great, son. All right. First, he added St. John to his name, presumably to sound more artsy.
Did this guy invent St. John's wort?
No.
Okay.
Like how I shut that one down immediately.
Yeah, but still, I like to say it. St. John's wort. Like he only had one wart.
Second, he moved to London, where he worked as an assistant to a number of well-established painters and art collectors.
Yeah, what are some names of these people?
Apprenticeship.
You're not going to remember any of these people.
Who are these people? Give me some names of some of the people he did an apprenticeship under.
What was that guy's name? Mario Da Vinci or whatever? Yeah.
The guy-
yeah, him.
Mario Da Vinci?
Yeah,
It sounds
yeah.
like a guy that owns a pizza place in your
Veiny
town.
Cock
He probably
McGee.
did. Vaney,
Bob
okay.
Ross.
You're not allowed to
Ooh.
say McGee anymore. I read
Like
the
Bob
article.
Ross, senior.
Yeah.
Long's own work showed promise, leading to some early successes that may have been the start of a good career as a painter. His works, focusing mainly on biblical and historical themes, were shown at the Society for British Artists and the British Institution.
He was an artist.
Yeah,
he
he was-
went within the scene to get popular.
He was doing well. He painted his most famous piece in 1824 at the age of 26.
Whoa, they did the math for me.
Yeah,
There you
thank
go, right?
Thank you. That's why I asked
Sometimes.
earlier, because I knew it was...
This show is well produced, guys.
What is the source of this information, by the way?
I list all the sources at the end.
Okay.
There you go.
Can we give him a hint
But these
right
are
now,
these
though?
are legit
Can we give him a
sources.
hint right now?
Could I
Is
get
that
a
an evil
copy?
robot?
Fine. Let's go to the Evil Robot page.
Evil robot at Wikipedia.
That is sourced from the Tate Museum, tate.org.uk.
I love the Taint Museum.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Could I
It
get a
smells
copy
great.
of the bibliography after
Taint,
this?
yeah, the Taint Museum?
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you guys turn on the air? The Taint Museum. Woo, it's kind of humid in here.
Taint, yeah,
Taint Museum?
just dripping. That's
This is a
Taint
taint
Museum.
from 1497.
Oddly enough, all of the art is right in the middle. None of it's near the front or back door.
Oh, yeah.
It's just
dude.
men and women swinging on cables with their legs spread open.
If you go forward, you'll hit the two big sacks. If you go backwards, it'll be a stinky hole. That's the exit door. Go on.
The Temptation in the Wilderness showed Jesus in the
pretty
midst of a
erotic
40-day
already.
fast.
40-day fast.
Yeah, he
Oh,
crushed
he
it.
must have been shredded.
Well, I mean, you've seen the pictures.
Yeah, it's Jesus.
Yeah.
No, I
Th-
didn't.
those aren't
I
real,
haven't
though.
seen him.
But couldn't he cheat?
What?
If he could turn water into wine, couldn't he cheat on the 40-day fast somehow by making food in his stomach without eating it?
I used to think about how cool it would be to be able to teleport shit out of your body so you didn't actually have to go shit anywhere.
Jesus can
I like
do
how
that.
you're using logic
Right?
to try to figure out Jesus stuff. You're like, if you keep that logic with you, you won't believe any part of this story.
That's true, too.
In the midst, it showed Jesus in the midst of a 40-day fast being tempted by Satan to turn rocks into bread so he could eat.
Oh,
So I-
rock,
that
the
was
old
like
rock bread.
Satan
Yeah.
thinks similar to me. That was
Yeah.
kind of like my idea.
Yeah.
I guess
Oddly
I
enough,
am.
But the
You-
point is, he fasted intentionally.
Sounds pretty like
So
a
why would
tactical carb addict.
why would he fuck himself if he was just doing this intentionally? Nobody forced him to do it.
Yeah, but it's, like in gym class when you cheat and the gym
Yeah,
teacher's
you're
like,
like,
if
no,
you cheat,
I
you're
cheat
only-
yourself.
Yeah,
You cheat yourself.
exactly.
You're
Yeah.
like cheating yourself.
If you cheat, you only get
exactly.
an A. To this day, the painting remains in the prestigious Tate Britain collection.
Oh.
We were
Once
going to
in
get
the
there.
Tate, you're not going out.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
right.
saying? You get
Hey,
stuck.
can we pause the show, go there, take a look at it, and we'll
Yeah.
come back and finish it?
This
quick.
show took 3 months to do.
It's like Boyhood. Is that what that movie
Oh,
called?
yeah.
I have no idea. Is it a good? Is it
Oh,
a,
I thought you were a Texas man. Linklater?
Boyhood?
Yeah.
no idea.
Boyhood.
It's a great movie. Linklater, Richard Linklater, did Dazed and Confused.
Only
shot it
took
over-
like 20 years
Yeah.
to make.
And
Oh,
it-
the
and it
one
was
where they
worth
just
it.
film it.
It was 12 years, yeah.
was
2
great.
weeks a year for 12 years.
course,
His
Our
wife's
numbers-
just sitting
our
there
numbers
going,
man's on
"We
top of you
have
right
to
there."
buy food, you fucking idiot."
And he's praying to God that nobody dies. He's like,
Oh,
fuck,
yeah.
make sure none of the main characters
yeah.
fucking die.
Yeah,
in these 12
stay off
years.
drugs. Everyone be cool.
Yeah.
While Jesus was able to resist temptation, the same cannot be said for John Long.
That's a nice sentence. I like what you did there. This is what Rich does.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
telling
I'm
you
an
guys,
auteur.
That's what my boy does
As
over
with
here.
many young artists, he struggled to make ends meet.
Page 2.
Of 100.
Of 9 billion pages. Having a basic understanding of anatomy from his experience as a painter,
Yeah, he did.
Long
I just have a basic understanding of anatomy.
because you learn how to draw the human
No,
body.
I know, but that is like not a basic understanding. You have the same understanding if you just look at the mirror.
Well,
this guy's concept.
They didn't have
I
mirrors
don't-
in Ireland in those days.
I guess
They were
not.
very
Based
poor.
on that extensive experience, John Long made the obvious choice and became a doctor.
Of course.
It is important to note here he did not go to medical
I was just
school.
gonna
He simply decided that he was now a medical
I
professional.
love it. This is the day, that's the day and age where it's like you just set your mind to it and you just be it.
You could be whatever you want to be.
I'm
then.
a doctor. I'm a captain of a boat.
I've had a few doctors who told me that, admittedly, they're like, I'm just good at drawing, and that's all I have. And it's set on the wall, like in the little frame thing. Just good at drawing.
That's
Never
It
went
was
to
actually,
college.
it just drew a diploma.
Can I see your medical degree? It's just like a stick figure. Or it points. That's the nipple.
You know what? Let me just draw you a picture instead.
At first, he
He's just
marketed
obsessed
himself.
with like a body part like kidneys or something like that. I'd like to draw kidneys. What a fucking weirdo.
Dude, and this is a day and age where you can be anything you want, but his parents were still basket weavers.
Yeah.
They could have been anything.
Lack of
Basket
creativity.
weaving might be satisfying and you never lose a patient, you know?
Charisma went a long way back in this day and age.
Oh, yeah.
Because you needed to provide nothing.
That
really.
that day and age, charisma still gets you wherever you need to go
in
today.
general, but then you
Yeah,
could
yeah,
really spin it to the ultimate tops.
Presidents. Yeah, look, charisma will definitely take you a very long way in any age.
It's true.
At first, John marketed himself as a chiropodist,
Interesting.
which
Yeah.
was, in layman terms,
Chiropractor
a hand,
for bugs?
No, a
An
hand and
iPod.
foot doctor.
Oh.
A hand and
yeah,
foot
'cause pod,
doctor.
pedestrian, what do you call it? Podiatrist.
In reality, chiropodist was a fancy term for the common occupation of corncutter.
Oh, okay. So he's basically a glorified pedicure.
Precisely.
Corn cutter?
What about cornholer? Do you know the term for that? or-
Glorified cornholer. That'd be an awesome license plate frame.
Glorified. I might, it might
Glorified
exceed the
cornhole.
7-letter limit. to spell that out.
No, for the frame. For the
Oh,
frame.
for the frame. Yeah.
Oh,
or I'd
yeah,
rather
dude.
be
Cornholing.
Cornholing.
Oh, yeah.
There has to be a Nebraska, like a parody Nebraska shirt that says cornholers rather than
No, but now that it's a
Cornhuskers.
game that, like, you know, college kids play, it's
yeah.
become like people say it, and you're like, every time I hear it, I'm like, oh, you're and then I'm like, oh, okay.
First time I heard it, I thought it was some sort of. I was like, Jesus, should I take my pants off for this game?
Sexual
This is a
game or
strange
something?
barbecue.
No, they're like, no, it's just bean bags.
Do you have any lube? I'm in.
You guys are serving ribs at this cornhole convention? All right.
Okay.
Very risky.
A lot of molasses in that sauce.
Yeah.
For most of human history, people wore crappy shoes that didn't quite fit. The constant rubbing.
This is what your source said? Crappy shoes?
No,
Yeah,
he
that's-
rewords it.
Wait.
Inefficient foot comfort, but yeah, crappy shoes
But
that don't fit.
they didn't fit. And is there a reason?
Yeah.
Well, because you would just buy a pair of shoes and you're like, these are my
Yeah, but
shoes now.
Back then, everything was like handmade. So couldn't you just find a fucking cobbler?
No one
if
had
you that would-
invented
If
that-
you're a poor though, have you ever like dealt with somebody that was like into hand making stuff, but they did a shitty job, and you're just like, oh fuck, I thought this person would be like super. good
No,
at this.
hey,
I have.
I'm
I've
not
had
as-
things done before where I'm like, oh, you are making something handmade, but
Jesus,
there's no
look at
adjective
this
that said it was
fucking
going to be
guy.
great.
He's an animal.
Moneybags over here getting handmade
Oh,
stuff.
I love handmade stuff, but yeah,
I can't afford it.
Can't trust
Well, that's
Etsy.
I do all my jobs handmade, you know?
That's right. Your hand jobs?
Yeah, there you go.
Handmade jobs? Okay.
You stuck with me.
You're so gross, but
The
I
constant rubbing
like that. Oh, yeah.
would create calluses or corns that would get so big they needed to be cut off.
That's so
Sounds
gross.
like he was in cahoots with the shoemakers.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously.
Make sure the arch is a little
He's
too
like,
high. if you know what
let
I
me
mean.
see that. Take it down just a notch. I need some rubbing on there.
How do you cut a corn off?
With a knife.
That sounds disgusting. Like this, like where you pull it towards you, like when you're like
You
turning
do it
an-
like the way that you shave.
pear?
The way, the way you cut
like you face the blade
strawberries.
towards you and you kind of go like this. Like
Yep.
First,
Oh,
you got to
gross.
shuck it.
There you go.
I thought they used a cigar cutter. It's almost
And
like just a mini guillotine.
I think you bite them off.
That's my move.
And
Yeah.
doesn't everybody get infection in the old days and like die from like minuscule things? So you'd be
There's
like, you're
so
not cutting
many.
anything off.
There's
of me.
so much death that we're coming up to. You're going to enjoy the hell out of this.
sweet.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Hopefully, hopefully STDs are involved.
Well, just wanted to point out that we're talking about a guy who's pretending to be a doctor. So just
Well,
want to
oh,
start.
yeah.
But at the
That's a good
same
point.
time, doctor's a loose term for a guy who's cutting off corns.
Was he Dr.
Oh,
St. John
man.
Long, or was he Dr.
Dr.
Long?
John St. John Long.
When you say cut
Dr.
off
Long,
Actually,
Corns?
sounds pretty fucking good,
Right?
Like
think
I
it's
would go to a guy if I saw that sign and I was driving by like a strip mall. I'd be like, I'll go see that doctor if I'm sick.
you guys would all have died in 17 or in 1824 because this guy is perfect for you. Let's see. In the 15 and 1600s, the job of corn cutting resembled having a shoe shine stand at a flea market.
What do you think they do with all the extra corns? Like grind it up and like just sell it as something else?
I think
like
corn,
probably.
probably
chicken feed?
corn jerky.
They
Chicken
made tortillas
Yeah.
and stuff.
Oh, you grind it down. And, yeah, you can make some sort of flour with it.
Corn
tea.
cutters would set up next to other stands peddling their wares, barking in customers, often by singing a crude jingle.
You've got those little corns on your feet. Let me cut them off. It'll be really neat.
Almost Scottish.
Is that almost Scottish?
Yeah.
What would be more Scottish? I gotta make it.
Well, I mean, that
You've
was
got
when-
the bloody corns on your bloody little toes.
That was a lot. But,
Yeah.
but then we're talking about Irish people.
Oh yeah. What? Oh, is that more Scottish?
Yeah, you went Scottish.
Shit.
Yeah,
I'm trying.
I know.
So
I'm
the-
proud of you.
Scotland.
You're
So
my
the-
friend. I support you.
Ireland.
These guys were like the what do you call it? The shoe?
Yeah, the
shoe
shoe
shiners.
shiners.
Yeah.
It's the
Bowling
same
with
thing.
knives and blood
Were
everywhere.
they at the airport or the ports of the time?
No, they're in the middle of the, like, just you walk down the street and some guy's like, hey, cut your corns off for you.
And you're like, you know
thank
what?
God, hey.
I've had some corns bugging me for a while.
Oh, man, I
That's
almost
probably
forgot that my
exactly
feet
what
are in
happens. That's exactly
horrific
how it goes.
pain.
I've got a meeting in an hour. Why don't you cut these corns off?
I can't wait any longer to get these corns cut.
I have a corn on the tip of my dick.
Ooh.
Sir.
From rubbing on your shoe?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a shoe fucker.
That's where I keep mine.
He's a shoe fucker. The leather was very nice.
Street corner corn cutters would make so little money, they would often offer other services like pulling teeth.
And sucking cock.
What?
Yeah.
Pulling teeth in the street?
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
I know.
I would fucking love this time.
You know why they made so little
That's
money?
visibly scary. For
Oh,
me.
dude,
Is
I
the
would love
corn
it.
cutting
You-
pimps were really fucking taking
Oh,
a lot
just
of
taking
that
a lot,
cash.
skimming off the top.
Because they're on the corners, and they're like, give me that fucking corn.
Is that a pun? They're on the corners.
That's why it's called the corners.
They're
That's where
corners,
they work.
dude.
You got to work harder. You're not
Is
earning.
that the origin of the word corner?
It
'Cause
is.
that's where they would stand
Oh,
to cut
gross.
the corns.
Yeah, maybe.
That's me on the corner.
That's me at the stoplight.
Cutting
Sucking.
off corns.
I was going with dick
Bandages
sucking,
on
but
my
we can.
footsies.
Yeah,
You can
dude,
keep-
bring it back to the corns.
Of course,
Let's keep
Rich.
it in the
That's fair.
story.
But by the approach of the 1700s, corn cutting had become a relatively stable profession, mostly due to the endorsement of the practice by members of high society.
Do you think that there was kids before it was a stable profession where they're like, I'm going to be a corn cutter? Their
Yeah.
parents are like, no, you're going to be a basket weaver.
They started crying.
He's like, no,
You
I
need
want to
steady
be a
income.
corn cutter.
Daddy, I have a dream, and I want to pursue it, whether you like it or not.
It's not a stable profession.
I don't want your life.
Yeah, I'm not a basket weaver. I'm a cut. What rhymes with corn on the feet?
Cuts
and weaver.
corners.
What?
Corn
believer?
There we go.
I'm a corn believer. Let me see your
Dreamweaver?
feet.
To ply their trade, many corn cutters took on eccentric personalities.
Oh, shit. It was like wrestling.
Wacky Billy.
Are you serious?
No, this is like the equivalent of if you went to Hollywood and Highland and you had Batman and Spider-Man competing.
Is there like a
to cut
corn
your feet
cutter
up.
mafia that goes and beats the shit out of new guys?
Oh, yeah, you're going to need corn protection.
Let me tell you something, brother. Some guy does an early Hulk Hogan.
The weird thing about these guys is that the way you're talking about them and how they're scummy and like how it's just kind of like unregulated and just disgusting, and the fact that it also deals with like cutting through something like skin and blood is just like a weird combo of like, that's disastrous.
Yeah, but then it was sort of normal. It was like corn cutting, like being a doctor then was just, it was the same as like, oh, you make food? You're equal people.
Yeah.
You don't have to wash your hands.
And these
or
guys
anything.
all just talk shit about it. They're like, don't go to Tiny Tim. He's the worst fucking corn cutter in the world.
Someone died recently that went to him. And
I like the entertainment factor in it. It's like you need to be.
They
you need
made
a persona.
jingles. I found a couple jingles, but they were too nonsensical for me to even bring here. I didn't want to sing, not knowing the tune, obviously. I didn't want to sing their jingles.
Oh, you don't have an actual recording of it?
No, unfortunately, and the sheet music was missing. So
You don't have any. It's not on YouTube, right? A video of it. In
No, I wish.
1824.
The 1820 videos.
I think they mentioned corn cutting in Whiskey in the Jarro, don't they?
No idea.
Whiskey in
I
the
don't.
jar.
If it's cool,
It's
I
an
haven't
old
seen
Irish
it.
song, like a Thin Lizzy covered it, made it famous. You know,
Okay.
Whiskey in the Jarro.
Yeah, cutting corns
Cutting
on
corn,
the
yeah.
corner.
Many corn cutters took on eccentric personalities, each claiming to be the world's foremost expert on foot problems and their cures.
So it was like every pizza shop in New York that says like world famous.
With the best pizza, no one has our crust.
I'm the best corn cutter on this block.
That's right. They later, they ended up becoming evangelists.
I think I would have been a corn cutter back then. It
Yeah,
seems
I really
like the
think you would've.
perfect, because there's an element of danger. There's also, you're going to have to intimidate people.
How
which you're good
nasty,
at.
but how nasty and stinky were people in those days?
Oh, bad.
Oh, dude, it's
would've
not
been
about the
gross.
corn cutting. It's about everything else.
Oh,
The
and
corn,
then you just-
corn cutting pussy is probably the highest pussy you can get back then.
And
It's pretty high level.
You
go
just
right-
cut this chick's corns the other day, and now I'm fucking boner. You know, you're in the wrong profession, bro.
You should have seen the feet before, but now they look
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
I'm getting a foot job
I was
right
saying
now.
the softest foot job.
I bet they went right from the feet, like really handling them, to right to the removing the teeth. No wash, nothing.
Oh, there's so much of that shit too.
Oh, I'm sure they use the same
Actually, I was
thing.
gonna say you could take a corn and be like, yeah, see your teeth back
Cap your
out.
teeth with
Yeah.
a corn.
This mix of entertainment and promised miracle cures made corn cutters all the rage.
Yeah.
Soon, kings and queens hired royal corn and nail cutters.
Real bad feet problems.
So this
back
is
then.
really the origin of the mani-pedi.
Yeah.
Wow.
Corn cutting had officially gone
It's
mainstream.
a regal thing.
Oh,
So
yeah.
weird.
It's weird that the Asians have seemingly taken it over
I could
from the Irish.
see, though, when they started importing Asians into the country,
Oh,
then
yeah.
that they started being like, oh, here's a market that we can break into. Because
Yeah.
there's enough of us, we can just force these fuckers out.
We have
Yeah.
great personalities and jingles.
Yeah, significantly better than the Irish, obviously.
Oh, yeah, the Irish.
Because they're not known for singing or being fun at all,
they're
right?
doing their... And everyone,
That's
everyone doesn't-
sarcasm.
What?
The way you did
I
that.
have no idea what that
I've
is.
never heard of
I
I've
saw
never
what you were
heard of it
doing
either.
with your sarcasm. I saw what you did. there.
Ironically, even the term chiropodist was born from fraudulent bullshit.
Something with Egypt?
A corn cutter from London named David Lowe invented the word in 1785.
David Lopan?
Yeah. David Lowe. Lowe wanted to write the book on foot care, but there were a few problems.
There already are some other books, so he couldn't write the book.
One, he had no talent for writing.
That sucks.
Oh, but
Two-
it's about feet. It's not like you have to have some unbelievable prose in there.
For
Like,
see-
oh, look at this. Yeah.
I've got pros.
You could just be like,
I've got
if
pros.
foot is in
I got pros in
trouble,
different area
here's what you
codes.
do.
Two, he had no knowledge of actual foot care beyond callus removal.
That sucks.
And three,
How much shit was there to know about the fucking foot back then?
there's a lot.
It's like,
what do you
keep
mean-
it
what do you mean
dry, keep
podiatrist
it
is an
clean?
actual job still, like an actual foot
I mean,
doctor.
is it?
Well,
I hope your podiatrist isn't listening to this fucking
fuck,
podcast.
I don't have.
'cause that's
Ryan,
pretty
Ryan
insulting.
comes back in. He's like, "Yeah, he just took my feet this time.
Look,
Said it
I
was
have
necessary."
some extreme views on feet.
He wears,
Preventative
he
foot
wears
cancer.
Vibrams.
I'm-
We should
I used to
that.
run barefoot
You wear like the thing,
Oh,
the
you
toe
wear
shoes.
fingers? I have a pair
years
of
ago,
those.
though, before they
Yeah,
became trendy.
You can just
So
check
you
each other's
stopped
toes.
wearing them? I got them. I have them in a box.
It's one of the
still,
worst
but-
things
Oh,
about
I already
them.
wore.
There's so
I'm
much-
on my second pair.
I really would have thought that you would beat people up for wearing those.
No,
So
but
that's just
here's
the
thing.
impression I got about you.
I was running barefoot, But I was running the streets of Los Angeles barefoot.
Why?
Not the best choice.
He had
What?
14 syringes in his, but he's AIDS free.
Yeah, you need to go get a corn cut.
Proud of you.
Well, look, the AZT cleared up a lot of it. No, so then I was like, I have to get these, and I was like, these are awesome. And then they became trendy, and I was pissed, and I'm embarrassed to wear them, but I love them.
Yeah, they're fun to wear, but
if you're outside LA, it wouldn't be as douchey.
they look so goofy and they're so fucking funky. But my wife,
I feel
was
like
so
you have to live
annoyed
in
with them, I had
Oregon
to wear
or
them.
Colorado
I
to
go
own
to dinner.
those.
They're great.
I'd go
See, I
I'd go
only
to
use
dinner
them
just
for running.
for her to be
I'm
like-
not. I don't go out in public.
No,
with them
I would do it
like
just
that.
to annoy my wife. Like we'd go out, and she'd be like, "Can you put some regular shoes on?" I'd be like, "No, let's just go." And then I would like go to a restaurant with those on. It was fucking fun. I still have them in a box somewhere.
There was a third problem with Lowe's book. A Frenchman named Nicolas Laurent Laforest, Corncutter to
Laurent
King Louis
Laforest.
XVI, had already written it in 1781.
Oh, shit.
Plagiarism?
Heartbroken.
The weird thing about that is, though, it's like it would be really hard at that time period to realize if somebody had written another book.
Yeah, you get a letter about it by someone from a horse that rode over to you and told you like 2
Yeah,
years
like,
ago
your
that
book-
happened, and
Yeah.
then 4 years later you're like, "I'll tell someone else about that."
While Lowe did not possess the skill, knowledge, or timing to write the definitive text on feet, he did possess the ability to read French. So Lowe took L'Art de s'enchaîner les pieds, translated it into English, and republished it as his own.
That's
What
a real
a clever piece of shit.
That's a low blow.
Yeah.
Oh, man. This is actually almost kind of doing it from the front end because, there's a whole epidemic of French comedians who take American acts and just read them in French.
Are you serious?
There's a French Jerry Seinfeld and a French Chris Rock.
I've seen that guy.
What's this deal with
The young comics all
They
have a
had
big
him.
fight with the older guys.
They had that. Seinfeld had him on the comedians in cars
What?
getting coffee.
and he stole.
I don't
his
think
bit
he
there?
stole his bit, but he is the French.
Like he
Jerry
has-
Well, there's a whole
Seinfeld.
bunch of guys who do that. They're like, yeah, I just took Sinbad's act, and now I go,
What?
oh, I'm a Zolan.
His name is
Women be shopping.
Les Sinbad.
To avoid getting caught for
Listen,
blatant
man. Oui,
listen to bed. To avoid getting caught for blatant plagiarism, Lowe jammed together some ancient words to create his title, Chiropodologia.
Well, that'll throw him off the tracks.
Right?
No one's going to read this piece of shit. They'll look at the title. They'll judge a book by its cover.
Boom.
And
Dude,
I'm going to win.
With such a crazy language barrier, like no French guy's going to grab the English book and be
Obviously.
like, "Hey, that's great."
By the time John St. John Long took up the practice, corncutters had taken on ridiculous affectations to prove their respectability. Gone was the term corncutter, replaced with chiropodist, or at minimum, the more technical-sounding corn operator.
That sounds awful.
Oh, so you're like, so the corn cutter that was there a
I'm
week
the
ago on the
doctor.
street is now he's the fucking corn.
I'm the doctor that operated on Jonathan Davis after his accident.
These
I'm
are
the
all
corn
co-
operator.
This is all corn with a K, right? Like the band?
Yeah. That was the Jonathan Davis reference. I thought everyone would know. That's
Long-
not corn, just so you know.
That's
another band.
No, that's from.
Is it corn?
That's from
That's
Follow
corn.
the Leader, Freak
That's
on
a
a
great.
Leash.
Okay.
That's a
That
great
was actually
album.
a perfect
Oh,
John
wow.
Davis
You
impression.
take
I
your
just
hat
did.
off. You got dreadlocks under there. I didn't know.
Motherfucker.
I didn't know. Sorry about that.
Yeah, blondes and
Freak on a
dreadlocks.
Leash.
I used to be a big corn fan.
You did?
Yeah.
Me
Dude,
too.
some of that stuff is amazing. Like the catchy, like heavy music, dude.
I saw Korn and Rob Zombie on the Rock is Dead tour in 1998.
Remember that old
Jeez.
song? Are you ready?
Yeah.
That's how we learned to drop the tuning on guitars when I was a kid. You like,
Oh, drop D?
Yeah, you make the guitar go real low.
Drop D made you sound so badass in 1997.
Drop D. But now that means to just like put your dick in something.
That's what I do, son.
Right?
Long and his competitors abandoned the street booths in favor of permanent offices.
I like the way you did that.
Operators would dress in high fashion, wigs and spectacles, to present themselves as affluent and successful, handing out business cards with the address of their practice.
Madame, would you allow me to work on your paws?
Well, do you have a
Wait a second, that's not Irish. We didn't do Irish. Madame.
But no, this is in London, so we're
Oh,
fine.
it is in London.
Yeah.
Madame.
Do you have a card?
Yes.
Well, then obviously you're a fine doctor then.
Would you mind if I have a look at one of those pods?
Sure.
Ooh, you've got a couple corns. I wouldn't mind chopping them for you.
Oh, you're such a cad.
Let me suck your tits.
Yes.
That's how easy it was.
And the whole time somebody's drawing all of this to make some sort of porno.
Yeah,
out of
our
it.
original guy. Who's the original guy? The drawer? John St.
John, the guy,
John
it's the
St.
same guy.
John.
We're talking about the same guy this whole time.
No, Jonathan Lowe is
We
the
switched
same
to
guy.
Lowe for a second to talk
but
about the
his
history
name's
of
John, too.
chiropod. Yeah, I know. There's too many Johns.
You just call
This
him
is
Lowe.
the fourth John we've done on the show, by the
Our
way.
listeners are fucking popping Tylenols and ibuprofen
They're
trying to
struggling.
fucking keep
I
up.
know.
Yeah, call him
We're
Lowe.
Long is the guy that we're done with Lowe. Lowe's done.
Lowe just
We're back
wrote.
to Long.
He invented the chiropod.
O'Neill's on
profession.
this shit.
And Lowe's done.
Lowe's the
he
plagiarist.
ripped the book off. Everyone now is
All right,
getting their
he's
panties
out of-
O'Neill's
wet.
an open wheel listener for this
Yeah.
show.
He is. He's used to listening.
Now they're
in his
dressing in
helmet.
costumes with wigs
What
and
year are
monocles.
we?
Like 1825, 26.
Okay, so he's 27 years old.
Long plied his trade for a short time, but much like painting, building a reputation, client base, and fortune took time. Clearly, patience was not one of Long's virtues. So in 1826...
What corner can he cut here?
John St. John Long made a big announcement. He had found a cure for consumption, known today as tuberculosis.
Oh look at this guy. Real trailblazer here.
Interesting name for it. What is it consuming?
Well, you'll find out.
It's consuming you.
Dial in, sucker.
It's consuming you, man.
This claim was massive, especially considering that tuberculosis was the cause of death for 25% of people in 19th century Europe.
Damn! That's like 100.
That's like, a lot. At least 7.
That's millions of people.
That's the HPV of that time, except if it killed you.
Is HPV killing
and except if, like, HPV actually killed people who contribute to society. You know what I'm saying? So, come on.
Yeah.
Come on. Did I just hurt everybody?
Human podiatrist
There
virus.
was, at the time, no effective treatment for the disease. If you caught it, your chances of survival were about 1 in 5. Scientists wouldn't even begin to understand how it was spread until around 1869, around 40 years later.
When they put the fucking Bible down and looked into a microscope, they're like, you know what? It's
Shit.
not the devil.
It was here the entire time?
It's the, yeah.
Just 2 pieces of glass. That was it.
That was it.
God damn
There's
it.
something else giving people
Sorry,
the
Mom.
sickness. They're not, Sorry, Mom.
Can you imagine that back then? People just scratching their head, be like, I don't know what to do, man.
That's what
You're
they did.
fucked.
That's what they did for everything.
And in 150 years, they'll do that for everything that's killing us now. They'll be like, those idiots.
These morons.
Oh, for sure.
All you have to do was just sing at the cancer. It would go away really easily.
Did you say sing at the cancer?
Yeah, they didn't
That's
know.
Hilarious.
Treatment at the time was sparse. Some doctors prescribed bloodletting, but most had nothing more to offer than recommending bed rest.
Does bloodletting work? Does that work? Or
No,
was it just a
no,
thing?
it's bad for. It's
Sleep
very
it
bad
off.
for you.
Just
I would
sleep it off.
I would just
Sleep
be
it off.
a tuberculosis specialist back then, and I would just be. Then people come in, I'd be like, just go ahead and rest in bed.
You need to jerk
would
off
fucking
18
die.
times a day, and if you don't,
Say
you're going
jerk
to die.
off 18
I'm going to
times.
pause right here and tell you that either of you would make a better doctor
Than this
than
guy?
what we're about to listen to.
Hey, look, this guy. He's made a decent living thus far.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
I think I would have. I think I would have died in some sort of corn war.
And he was a hell of a painter.
I just wonder how my DNA even made it through those times to get to here today. Because all my problems, like who in my family survived all that shit?
You're probably related to Lowe.
Maybe.
I bet you
Just ripping those French books
Yeah,
off.
maybe. Hey, fuck you, buddy.
Immunization against tuberculosis would not be invented until 1906. It's estimated that TB killed over 1 billion people in the last 200 years alone.
Oh, that's a decent number for that. Is there anything higher?
I'm sure.
I'm
sure there's higher.
TBS.
I have the
in
tuberculosis
1997.
rookie card.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, for the plagues.
Good stats in the early year?
A lot.
Is
lot
it
of
a foil?
kills.
Is it a foil wrapped?
It was a Dunross Diamond King.
Did it come with gum?
In the back. The TB epidemic also came with a strange social side effect.
You fucking TB slut.
The infection showed a number of physical symptoms.
Is it TB shaming?
Yeah, come on. Oh, you're going to love this, my friend. Showed a number of physical symptoms on the host. Weight loss, pale skin, silky hair, sparkling eyes caused by dilated pupils.
So
Wow.
basically, you became a vampire.
They got more.
You became hot.
They got more laid, and then it spread easier.
Rosy
right?
cheeks and red lips caused by the fever. In essence, it would turn the women into hot Euro club
And
trash.
then they'd fuck more people, and then it would spread faster because it'd be like, damn, we get laid so much now. If you didn't know you had it too.
The consumption look became the heroin chic of the day.
Yeah.
Wow.
So much so that young upper-class women would try to imitate the effect by poisoning themselves with light doses of arsenic.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, people want what people
It was
want.
like a tit. It was the boob job of that.
So
time.
you're telling me that people they couldn't just lose weight on their own and maybe just put some rouge on their face?
No.
Dude, it
They
wasn't-
poisoned themselves with
They knew
deadly
arsenic.
poison.
Dude, they knew it was fake. You need that real shit.
yeah,
right?
I'm authentic. Okay,
How
I'm not one of these shallow
Bad would it
bitches.
be to have sex with one of these women that's fucking poisoned with
It'd be
arsenic?
so hot.
But didn't the TB look at one point become basic? You think like everyone was rocking it to the
Well,
point
eventually,
where
yeah.
it would jump
Also, it
the
was
shark.
boring. It was like a podcast. Everyone's got one.
Yeah.
You got TB? Yeah, join the club. What else you got?
And then they wanted to go to something else.
Yeah.
What was the after the
You
TB
got some AIDS
epidemic?
or something more interesting?
Oh,
My
and then-
friends and I want
well,
something
the-
exotic.
Polio looked sweet for a while.
It hurt walking in high heels though.
Cities were now filled with sexy landmines carrying a disease doctors didn't understand and could not treat.
Isn't that isn't like if you see a girl like that, you're like, oh, she's got TB. Give me one of these larger women with the that's not pale, and
Yeah,
rosy
I like
cheeks
the
or
pale
silky
and the rosy
hair.
cheeks and the hair, but you could have some ass.
One of the
on there,
best
please.
hip hop songs of that day was TB sucking that D.
Turn my headphones up.
I'm just
Invent them
going to ask
first.
you guys to sing it in an Irish accent real quick, and then we'll move on.
The young and hot needed a
Okay.
hero. Enter John St. John Long.
Oh, boy.
Sugar Dick Daddy Long.
Long's treatment came in 2 parts.
Always the opportunity.
Oh, 2 parts of the treatment. I'd like to hear what these are.
A 2-part treatment.
Let's hear. One's a hot beef injection.
Part
corned
1.
beef.
Yeah.
Let me unzip my pants.
Corned beef and
Put the
cabbage.
pill in the tip of my dick.
Well, we
Part
already
2,
did-
I
yeah.
insert
He's trained his
into your
urethra,
butt.
his urethra to release
Yeah.
it. My urethra will release it.
His dick was a Pez dispenser.
That's what.
So
Yeah.
that's exactly what I pictured.
With cheap
Of a
Canadian
urethra
drugs.
just-
First, he would have the patient inhale a vapor made of a secret formula.
Oh,
he
my God.
invented vaping, man.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
he was the
dude.
first douche.
This is Ireland, 1800s. Bro, come in here and get one of
seriously.
these Star Wars cigarettes.
It's an oxygen bar.
Hey, bro.
One patient described that step. Quote, I went into the room where there appeared to be 2 cabinet pianos.
And then he fucked
Each
me.
lady took a pipe about half a yard long,
Oh, it took a pipe about a half a yard. That's a long pipe.
That's
Put
John
it-
Long for you right
put
there.
it in an
Really.
orifice in the machine, and the other end into her mouth.
Wait, what?
Orifice.
Wait,
I
what?
think there were about 8
Slow
or
down,
10
slow
ladies
down.
in the room.
Go back.
Basically, they smoked from a giant piano hookah. It's not as
Okay.
exciting to jerk off a bowl
I
as
thought
you
you
think
said
it is.
orifice.
Yeah, orifice is an
Of the
oddly
machine.
sexual word for not being that sexual.
It's like moist.
yeah,
It can be
exactly.
used a lot of
It can be
ways.
really gross.
Well, you don't say that to me unless you want a fucking boner.
After smoking the weird group hookah, the patient would proceed to part 2, the rubbing.
Yeah.
Does this have to do with female hysteria? Is it the
No,
same?
we've done female
But
hysteria
I'm saying,
already.
did he steal a page from that book? Like, hey, these other doctors are jacking
Hey,
all
I'm
these
going to
chicks
say
off.
that rubbing women in a medical situation has been around for 1,000 years.
Yeah, it really has. Dude.
I think it's the ultimate way to take
No wonder-
advantage
yeah.
of
Hey,
somebody.
a headache. All right, well, get your tits out.
Let's
Ass
rub
up,
them.
face down. Let's fix this thing.
It sounds like a really shitty day spa. Like, come smoke this hookah piano, and then we're going to rub you.
Dude, I would go there right now. Right now. In fact, I suggest that we all go.
Yeah, but we'd have corns on our feet. We might die of the
a good point.
plague. But all that tang.
Long's female assistant would use rough sponges soaked in another secret formula to rub the back of the patient every day for about a week.
Secret formula smelled a lot like bleach.
Yeah. The rubbing would leave big, dripping sores.
Oh, what?
Yeah, which
What was in it?
According to Long, they were part of the treatment. We'll get to the thing eventually.
I think you might be close to the whole bleach thing. Yeah.
His theory was that by irritating the skin, that would somehow
So
reduce
far-
the internal irritation
so
caused
far,
by the disease
very interesting.
and allow the illness to escape.
Escape. That's all they thought middle days. Well, bloodlet. It'll get out. It'll escape.
That's the classic, like, oh, your ear hurts? Let me punch you in the nuts real quick.
My
And
dad used to do that shit all the
you're
time
not
to
going
me.
to think about
Yeah.
that anymore. And you're
That's
like,
a weird way. Wouldn't they just give them a bunch of rancid cheese and just let them rip farts to let
Well,
it release from the body?
The worst part about this whole story that
Cabbage,
we'll
dude,
get to
you're gonna fart a bunch
eventually is that there were actual
Corned beef and
doctors who
cabbage, I
had
fart so
decent
much.
treatments for this. Not great treatments, but who were like,
Better than
here's
this.
how we manage this.
There were actual learned human beings.
They were like, look, you get some rest, have some soup, whatever, you know. Once the skin was sufficiently mangled, the wound would be covered with cabbage leaves, and Long would declare the
Whoa.
patient to be healed.
you just said cabbage 1 second ago.
Whoa.
What?
well, corned beef and cabbage is like a pretty standard, like,
Yeah, that's
Fair
a good
enough.
for ripping them.
every
Very
Irish
good
pub
point.
I ever played.
If you want to rip them, then you get you some corned beef and cabbage. If you're
Oh,
going
yeah.
to a
Oh, I love
competition,
it.
Do you like
My dad
spice,
used to make that.
spicy mustard or regular
Yeah,
yellow?
on your back?
On the
Ow!
the
On my
corned beef
sword.
and cabbage.
no, you don't eat regular yellow with corned
No,
beef.
you got to go hardcore.
There's a
you
Irish
have to go
bar
with
down
the
in
Dijon.
There's an Irish bar down in like San Juan Capistrano, and they have like a horseradish kind of cream sauce.
Yeah. Oh, it's
so good.
with
Yeah.
their corned beef and the cabbage. Oh god, I just dip carrots and corn. Oh fuck, I want that right now.
You dip your dick in there.
Yeah, I dip my dick in it.
I put that on my back, and it really caused
cured-
open sores.
but it cured all your ills.
Yeah, everything leaked out.
So everything's
They used
so
to
the-
think that shit just like leaks out of you because they were just spiritual. So they were
Well,
just
yeah,
like, you
'cause,
gotta
I
get the
mean,
demons out, you'll be fine.
you take a dump, you piss to get
Yeah.
it out. So yeah.
What if you had like some sort of brain problem? They just try to drill
They
holes
did.
in your
They
fucking
did
head.
do
That's
that.
what they
Yeah.
did do that. That's
That's
exactly what they did.
That's what they and they would drain your fucking blood and people would die. They'd
You
be like,
guys
"All
were
right,
born in the
gonna
wrong
drain."
time. You could have been
Yeah,
the premier
are
medical
you a doctor
practitioner.
with a time machine?
I have a ton of
Answer me.
leeches on me right now to fucking suck people's blood.
Literally, or
That's why
got
you look
some
so
friends that
swole.
are-
Yeah, they're just
He
sucking
lifts
me.
up, he lifts up his shirt. He's got washboard abs, but with leeches on.
How
all
great
of
would
them.
it be if he actually have leeches on right now?
Oh,
like
yeah,
for
dude.
real, we're
Just,
like
he has
shit.
instead of nipple rings, he just has two
leeches?
leeches hanging off of him.
Oh, that'd be so
I'm like
good.
this. I'm stand by me, dude. They're on my balls at all times.
Oh god.
just sucking. You're like, I always have something sucking my balls.
That's what I'm going for. As horrifically stupid as this sounds, Long became immensely popular.
Hell yeah, he did.
By 1827, he had a
And wait, so
lucrative...
weren't people dropping dead?
Not yet.
Dude, it's 2 parts, man. You got to go through the plan.
Well, what do you mean yet? You're implying that people are going to start passing on.
What?
What's
This
the
is a show-
incubation?
What's the
for-
show called again? I totally forgot.
What's the incubation
I thought you were
period
doing
for
me.
tuberculosis? Then once it hits, and then once it takes your life.
You know
How
that
long?
I don't know the speed of.
Because that you could have a lucrative career for a very short amount of time, potentially, if everyone just starts dying.
Well, you're going to find out why his career was so lucrative in just a moment. He had a lucrative practice on Harley Street in swanky Cavendish Square. His popularity grew.
Was swanky.
The open spaces on his schedule that weren't filled with patients were filled instead with invitations to parties.
He's a party doctor.
He soon developed the skill to diagnose consumption. I did air quotes for the radio, for the fucking the skill, quote unquote, to diagnose consumption in people who had no symptoms simply by looking at them.
Yeah. The old
Psychic.
visual diagnosis.
A real John Edwards.
I would at least be like, I have to put one finger in your ass.
Yeah.
And then you take a smell and you're like, oh, you have consumption.
That'd be great if that was your method. You're like, look, I need to diagnose you.
But I only do women.
I need to go balls deep.
Yeah. You're going to think my method's a little weird, but I have to come when I'm diagnosing.
I have to fuck your wife to see if you have it.
Oh, dude, people do that all throughout history, and people believe them.
I will have a finger in your ass. I'd also be touching my penis, but it's not. It's
So he
purely
was the
professional.
the AIDS RVs you see that roll around to give the instant testing of his day.
They just look at your shoes. Yeah, you have AIDS, dude. You got to be careful.
Sorry.
You got AIDS.
Have a good
He's
day.
the
though.
mobile testing unit.
Hi guys, I'm here to get my AIDS test. Do I have AIDS?
The bad news is you have TB. The good news is I have a 2-part program just for you.
That's right.
Man, take all my money.
The bad news is I don't have any more cabbage.
John recruited new patients at every social gathering.
Also, he's a great Hollywood networker.
Mm-hmm. Of course, his medical expertise quickly grew to include treatments for rheumatism, gout, measles, cancer, smallpox, and mental illness.
Man,
Jesus.
people were not talking to each other very much back then because it seems like it would have kind of quickly gone to the wayside that this guy was a fucking
Well, I mean,
scam.
you look at this stuff and you think this is all very scammy, and then you look at what happened. Like, Oprah single-handedly fucked up American medical practice. She created Dr. Oz. She created this guy who always agrees with women for some reason.
Dr. Phil?
That guy.
He's not a doctor, right? It's just his name on the show.
He's just a fucktard. And then she also created she gave Jenny McCarthy her anti-vaccination platform.
Yeah.
So basically it's like, hi, I'm really popular. And since I'm popular, here are people who don't know what they're doing.
Wait, was Dr. Oz bad?
That's a good point.
Dr. Oz is a fucking
Dr.
hack.
Oz. That guy's like a fucking.
I don't
Dr.
know.
Oz basically is like,
He's always on
hey,
TV, yeah.
you're
He's
ugly.
always been cool to you.
He's always really nice to me.
Isn't his real name
He
like
talks to me through the screen.
Doesn't he have like a long Armenian name, like Osmondian?
Dr.
or something?
Ozzyadian.
Dr. Asmondianian.
Like, it's not. I mean, I don't think it's
Probably.
Oz. I don't think he's the wizard, is he?
Maybe he is.
I think he's one of the Kardashians. He looks
Cast
just
a
like-
spell on some fucking
Dr.
idiots.
Ozzy.
So what's he do that's so wrong? Okay, let's go back to the
By
story.
1830, John
he
St.
in the
John
story?
Long. No.
Okay.
All right.
Dr. Oz!
Yeah. By 1830, John St. John Long was one of the most famous and wealthy medical practitioners in London.
What about painters? What did he rank?
Yeah.
Can't you just be happy for him for his medical practitioner?
Which was
think
How's your basket weaving, though?
He definitely fell out of the rankings of painting here.
It was an amazing feat for a guy whose medical qualifications were limited to I painted pictures of some people. In August of 1830, Lady Cashin of Dublin, Ireland, arrived in London.
She had a huge clit.
Yeah, huge.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
No.
I'm sure that's like a random weird web fact you could look up. Like, she was known for her large.
Danis just his whole career has just been like, no, I just know clits. That's what I do.
He has a poster of
She had
the
a
largest clits of
Yeah.
every century.
She had a very pronounced bean.
My new book, Clits of the World.
Clits through history.
That would actually be a badass coffee
Clits of
table
the
book.
world.
I'm sure Terry Richardson's making that one.
Dude, let's make that. No, copyright right now on
Right
the
now.
show.
It's
We're
official book,
copywriting. Yeah, Clits of the
copyrights.
World.
Yeah, I don't know if that's something that I want sitting on my coffee table.
Well,
Yeah,
you
you're-
have a boring fucking coffee table.
You're
good
not
sir.
a 55-year-old feminist.
Haven't you
so,
I have blown out assholes of the third world.
so it's just Ari Shafir?
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you ever heard the saying, same clit, different day? It's, I mean, it's all-
wow. That should be on the cover of the book.
Why'd you say that? Ari Shafir? He actually has a blown out.
He has a famously
It's
disgusting
an
asshole.
ass pussy.
Yeah.
It's
It literally
hideous.
looks like if it was night and the light just came on and all I saw was this pussy, you would probably put your dick in it.
He
You'd be
needs
like, whoa.
Dr. Long to shave his
Really?
hemorrhoids down to get him to
Yeah,
be
good
not.
God, I
Cut,
did not
cut
want
the
to
corn
know
out of that asshole.
And when he shits, he leaves a lot of blood in the toilet.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ Almighty!
Yeah, it's
he
not
seemed
good.
happy last time I talked to him, but I had no idea.
No,
about
he
this
loves
whole-
it. He's happy about it.
Oh.
Yeah, this is something that he's always
his little
wanted
buddy,
his whole
yeah,
life.
Yeah.
Lady Cashin
It's a great
arrived in
icebreaker.
London.
I'll tell you that much.
Her name's Lady Cash.
Lady Cashin.
Okay.
Sounds like a shitty country singer.
Yeah, pretty much.
Johnny Cash's girlfriend, Lady Cash.
She arrived with her daughters, Ellen and Catherine. Ellen, the younger of the two, had tuberculosis, and the wealthy Lady Cashin brought her to the city seeking Long's famous medical expertise.
Dr. Long.
Much to her disappointment, Long determined that there was no treating the 16-year-old.
What, he couldn't whip that back open?
He would prove to be correct. Ellen died later that same day.
Whoa.
Oh, he knew it was. He's like, I don't want to blow my operation here.
He knew the signs of the disease.
Too far.
But
he did fuck her dead body.
then he looked.
That is a small butt.
This is the only way to stop consumption from spreading is if I fuck the immediately dead
I need to
corpse.
suck it out with my wiener and then blow it on your face.
But then he looked at 24-year-old Catherine.
And he
And
said,
said to
oh,
himself,
no.
He announced that she, too, had the seeds of consumption and must begin treatment at once, despite the fact that she looked and felt perfectly healthy.
The seeds have been sown.
Yeah, he'll sow some seeds.
These people are fucking despicable.
Lady Cashin, worried about the possibility of losing both doctors, agreed. Long's teams rubbed his secret formula on her back until they opened a large wound.
They did rub it.
Covered it with fresh cabbage leaves and sent her back to her local lodgings.
Sounds like a real shitty cooking show. Like, first we open the wound, now we apply cabbage liberally across the pan.
Is this something you can do at home?
Oh,
Fucking
God.
cabbage. How bad did that smell?
Tell me what was in this fucking potion.
We're getting there.
You
Soon the
asshole.
openings grew larger and became inflamed.
And do they have to carry you? Because cabbage would just fall off. If it's
No,
just
they
like,
probably tape it on there.
They put you on a bed.
hey, cabbage
Tie it
bag.
on with like
They throw
twine.
your face first on a wagon, and then
It's like, all right, go ahead.
Don't
Is this where Cabbage Patch Kids started?
Ugh.
Oh,
That
that's a
Friday,
really-
Miss
Oh,
Rodis, the owner of the home hosting the Cashins, called Long to examine Catherine. Long took one look, declared that it was... Oh, yeah. Soon the openings became larger and inflamed.
Oh, yeah.
Long was called. He took one look, declared it was precisely what he wanted, and went home.
This is what I need.
On Saturday, part of the wound turned black.
I like it.
Jesus.
Oh, it's looking good. It looks like it's working here.
Yeah,
Perfect.
Long was called again.
Oh, and then
This time, he declared the wound to be, quote, in a beautiful state,
Yes.
and said he would pay 100 guineas to get the same result on his other patients.
Some say the blacker the better. The better the
100
scar.
guineas.
Yeah,
is
the
that
blacker
is
the
that a
wound,
racial
the-
slur?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. No, 100 Italians, I would sell them into other people's slavery.
Hey, how you doing? There's 99 more of me, so, you know. Where do you
When
want us
directed
sit?
to look at the obviously infected black section, he called it
Wait,
a...
black section, is that like a
Yeah.
segregated part?
Sounds
No,
kinda
it's Mondays at the
racist.
Laugh Factory.
Okay.
They called the wound Rosa Parks, I believe.
Is this wound tripping on Tuesdays?
It's tripping every day, doctor. You got to fix this.
He called the black part a side effect of the inhalation process.
How rude.
Hey, it's not me. It's the fucking hookah piano.
But when she dies, he blames it on consumption. Unbelievable.
At this point, Catherine was constantly vomiting.
Sweet.
When asked for a composing draft, the common remedy for vomiting at the time, he said a glass of mulled wine was better than any draft a doctor could prescribe.
Yeah.
Do you think that this guy? What do you think in his head? He clearly knows she's probably going to die.
Can I
So is he cool? Is he? I mean, he's clearly a sociopath.
He's a
But
psycho.
at some point, he was an artist. He seemed like maybe. Well, then
Is
again,
mulled
Hitler
wine
no,
what
no,
it
no,
sounds
no.
like it
He's-
is?
He's like, I mean, he's like the shitty. He's like a Justin Bieber of his time.
That's
he got
fucked up, man. Justin Bieber
popular.
isn't
Now
killing
this,
people.
yeah, probably is.
Oh, he might be.
Yeah,
Hookers.
How do you think
probably.
Paul Walker died?
Does Justin Bieber in the
Yeah,
car?
Justin Bieber killed him.
Oh my god! Can I ask you a question?
Allegedly.
I have a question.
Is that the
Yeah.
next true crime?
Yeah, that's the next one.
That's weird. But can I ask you? Is
Yes.
mulled wine what it sounds like?
warm wine,
Oh, warm wine?
like hot
I
wine.
thought you said mulled wine.
I
No,
thought you said
M-U-L-L.
mulled wine.
Yeah, so we both said
Mold, MULLED. Like there's
Mold.
a yeah,
You said warm wine.
yeah.
Wormwood? Like okay.
Miss Robis gave Catherine the wine. Catherine immediately vomited. On Sunday, Long was called one more time to look at an even
And
bigger
he's
black
like,
spot.
"Will you stop fucking bothering me?
He's
I
like,
got
"It's
like
fine.
50 parties to go
I'm
to
painting
today."
and playing golf.
Jesus
Enough
Christ.
is enough, Catherine.
You're purging all the bad stuff
Suck
out.
it up. So it's a little black and you're puking all the time.
Yeah, it's perfect. Exactly how I like it.
He was called to look at the even bigger black spot and hopefully address Catherine's vomiting, sweating,
Why does it
shaking,
have to
and
be
diarrhea.
black? Why does the spot have to be black?
You want
The-
to die like your sister? You do what I say, Catherine.
Stick to the plan.
Would you stop being a fucking cunt?
Diarrhea in the 1800s.
By the way,
must
can I
have
take a
been
photo
awful.
of your clitoris for the new book I'm working on?
Were photos invented at that time? 1820?
I think so.
He would draw them at the very least.
Yeah, I'll draw a clit all day, bro.
Yeah, so why, dude? Give me a pen.
Long stuck to his guns. Not only did he approve of her sickness, but he openly wished there were even more boils on her back.
God, I wish your back was even more fucked up. I would
telling
love it.
you, this is. I wish all of my patients
I hope
were as
after he
black
said
as
that,
this.
I hope she sharded on him after he said that.
Despite the fact that there were common remedies for her symptoms, Long prescribed rhubarb and magnesia.
Oh, the old rhubarb pie.
Yeah.
Make yourself a rhubarb pie and go to bed.
She again promptly threw up. On Monday, they finally called in an actual doctor, Mr. Brody.
Maybe we should call a Jew. Let's get Brody in here.
It was too little too late.
We need a bigger boat. Call Brody.
Positive energy is all he needs.
You got it.
You got it. You got the TB.
The next morning, Miss Robus was called to her bedside. Quote, I tried to get a teaspoon of brandy into her mouth, she said, but her jaws were quite set and she was dead.
Oh, man.
It had only been 10 days since a healthy Catherine Cashin met John St. John Long.
And died.
Murderer.
Jesus. That's fucking creepy.
A coroner's inquiry was called on August 21st. Long's defense was a comedy of errors. First, they tried to blame...
It was his legit defense.
Yeah.
I just want to say it was a comedy of errors. You're going to love this, Judge and everybody else.
He just comes in with a tragedy comedy mask.
So
look at these two things.
It wasn't actually cabbage. It was lettuce. So...
And it was the bagged lettuce.
It was iceberg lettuce, and so that's the first hilarious part.
First, John's defense tried to blame Catherine's death on eating too many plums.
Look, this bitch was eating a lot of plums. What am I going to do? She's eating them all day. I told her to stop.
She was double-fisted when she came into my office. I said, those are going to kill you.
You get the plummet.
The plummet.
This guy eat too much plums. That's fucking great. I love it.
You die from too many plums. You'd be so
just
regular.
The audacity to be like, no. Clearly, it's a fruit that everybody eats. Is what killed her.
She's a plum slut, Your Honor.
Ugh. Stop plum slut shaming. This was promptly denied since it was well recorded that Catherine was puking too much to eat anything.
Was that like eating too many plums? Was that slang for testicles back then?
No, because plums do. They do make you shit.
But if you eat in excess of anything, like spinach has some shit in it.
Yeah.
If you eat it in an enormous quantity,
cyanide or something, right?
It can kill you. Brown rice has fucking arsenic in it.
Plum is so good, though.
You ever had plummus?
Where they mix hummus up with plums?
It's beautiful.
Never, but in a fantasy I would.
You gotta watch out for the pits. It's right in the middle of the
pits
hummus.
will give you the shit. Have
you ever had hummus?
What is that?
It's cum and it's hummus.
Right. You ever met grimace?
Oh, that sounds so good. Mr. Brody, the actual doctor, was called to the stand. He testified that he had no idea.
Positive energy.
Judge, don't bring that up.
Hey, St. John, you're going for jokes with this comedy of errors.
He testified he had no idea how the wound was produced, but it had definitely caused her death. He also pointed out he could not imagine how causing that sort of wound could cure consumption or prevent any other disease.
What does this fucking guy know?
Is the Tupac Biggie rivalry Brody versus fucking St. John Longo?
The defense called Sir Francis Burdett, a baronet and controversial member of Parliament, to testify on Long's behalf.
Why was he controversial? Is showing his dick too much?
Kinda, I think.
Okay.
He was the Anthony Weiner of his day.
I went down that road for a little while.
He was having pictures drawn of his penis with his child in the background.
Like, that's even more of a choice than taking the picture.
Yeah. The kid had to stay there for like 5 hours.
Daddy, can I go play? Speak only when spoken to. Now, is the light correct on my dog?
Just talking to the portrait artist.
And make sure that the child stays in the same position.
Sir Francis told the court that there was no... Shut the fuck up.
I'm just saying.
Sir Francis told the court there was no danger in Long's methods or the mystery solution.
Big defense.
When the inquisitor asked if he'd ever studied medicine, the baronet replied, "Oh, dear me, no."
Oh, why, I'm not here for that.
I'm a professional witness, you see.
Wait, Brody doesn't like this guy.
You got it. This guy's a fraud.
Bad practice.
The inquisitor asked Sir Francis, quote, "Should you be able to distinguish a glass of water from a glass of prussic acid by the appearance?" Sir Francis replied, "I don't think I should."
You don't get it.
Do I look like Mr. Wizard?
Wait, so what he was rubbing on their back was a kind of acid?
Well, we'll get there.
Okay, I'm just grossed out.
So wait, what's the name of this guy? This parliamentary...
Sir Francis Burdett.
The old Burdetter.
Well.
An autopsy was conducted on Catherine's body by a team of 8 doctors and surgeons.
What? So what? What guy... I think it sounds like a gangbang.
That's
like
what the term autopsy
gangbang
comes from. You don't know what happens to your grandma when she dies? Is that there's just a big
only your grandma,
gangbang.
nobody else?
Autopsy.
Yeah.
Wait, is she a grandma? No, just
Am I
a
going
mother.
topsy
All right,
or bottomsy on this one?
Topsy, yeah.
Come on.
Heads or tails?
All surgeons agreed that the body was in perfect form and free of disease, except for a giant, disgusting wound on her back, which looked a lot like a burn.
So she didn't even have the TB they found. Ooh, Dr. John.
According to all 8 actual medical professionals, there was 0 internal illness and she had definitely been killed by whatever the hell happened on her back.
Can you imagine the autopsies back then? I mean, the fucking how they would just gut you.
Oh, sure.
Some guys like, is anyone taking that left titty home? Because I would love that.
Yeah, I need that in a jar, in a creepy jar, please.
The dreaded death by cabbage.
Well, how bad is this wound that like it killed her?
Real bad.
Something like liquid that he was rubbing.
Oh, you imagine that? I mean, have you ever seen like the fucking gangrene? And the smell must have been atrocious.
Oh, yeah.
A buddy of mine went to medical school, and he said that they would fuck around.
Like to hang out or actually went there to study?
He was like, oh, this sounds fun.
He was a delivery driver.
No, he's a doctor.
Dropped off 2 pizzas.
In medical school, they would like, if there was a severed hand, you would like take it and shove it in your friend's back pocket when he wasn't looking.
Yeah, of course.
All that kind of shit.
Of course.
Yeah.
You're like, look at this. It's around my dick.
Yeah.
Look how small this hand makes my dick look.
The defense then called 63. I just caught up to that. The defense then called 63 of Long's former patients to testify on his behalf, but the damage was already done. The jury returned a verdict of guilty on the charge of manslaughter.
No, I don't think you got it. It was a comedic.
The courtroom erupted as actual doctors.
It erupted? What was this? Like a fucking.
It was on Mount Vesuvius.
The actual doctors broke out into cheers, claps, stamped their feet, and shouted, "Shame, shame!"
And did they have a dance-off outside then?
It was so bad the head coroner chastised the revelers for their, quote, un-Englishman-like conduct.
Wow.
But the physicians' celebrations would be cut short.
Ooh. It's like a Def Comedy Jam in there.
Long sentence.
I ain't scared of y'all motherfuckers.
Long sentence for the negligent death of Catherine Cushion, a fine of £250, around $30,000 today.
Ooh, that's a lot.
Long, who was ridiculously wealthy,
Yeah, but he was a murderer.
pulled the money out of his pocket.
This guy's walking around 30 grand.
Wait, so he didn't have to go to jail for that?
Paid the fine on the spot and walked out of the courtroom.
That's a short sentence for Long.
How pissed was her mother?
Dude, apparently he like did it. He was like, he pulled out with the floor. She was like, "Here we go."
You
Like,
just throw it in the air.
Yeah.
Did they have a $30,000 pound back then?
That's so fucked.
This guy in his horse and carriage carried 30 grand in the glove
They
box.
used to in the old days. You used to have your money with you.
Like a football player.
Dude, someone should have robbed him.
A lot of people had like
This
most of their
guy
money with it when they walked around.
Oh, really?
That's
Dude.
how banks were invented. Where eventually they're like,
Forget
people,
being a doctor. I would just rob
This
people
guy was
of their
the
life
Mayweather
savings.
of
a lot
his
of people
day.
did. Yeah.
He made it rain in the courtroom.
He's a Mayweather. He's uneducated, still successful, carries a lot of cash on him.
And beat women.
How much money
kills
does
women.
How much
And
money
kills
does
women,
Mayweather walk around with?
A
I don't know.
lot.
Stacks and stacks
I mean,
and stacks
there's
of cash.
videos of him carrying $4 million into casinos to gamble.
Oh, weird. That's
Cash and just stacks.
Long's
It's a
medical
weird, fucked
practice.
up world to even show off like
I
that.
know.
Like, wouldn't you want to build like a couple wells in Africa or something like that? You got that much money?
Fuck
You're just gonna-
I'm sure, though, honestly, though, as a tax shelter, I'm sure he fucking donates a shitload of money to charities and shit.
Yeah.
Long's medical practice did not suffer from the publicity. In fact, the news coverage may have even helped grow his business.
What?
While the papers covered the medical evidence against him, they also included the testimony of his many satisfied famous patrons.
Oh,
It was like
turned into a fucking infomercial for him.
It'd be like if OJ got signed to play football again. He's
Yeah.
hot again after he killed Nicole.
Or signed as like a contract killer.
Or a relationship therapist.
His supportive patients brought him new business, convinced he was a miracle worker. Long now claimed that he was, quote, qualified to cure all the bodily ailments to which the children of Adam are subject.
Ooh.
He's long and strong.
Some people even came to see him while the trial over Catherine's death was still underway.
Do you still have the cabbage, doctor?
Hey, that bitch, I don't believe anything her mom says.
One of those people
You got to break a few eggs, right?
That's
Doc?
not the St. John I know.
was Miss Colin Campbell Lloyd,
Colin Quinn.
wife of Royal Naval Captain Edward Lloyd.
I loved Edward.
Mrs. Lloyd visited Long looking for relief from a minor sore throat.
Well, I'm
Let me
not
just
your
jam
cure
this,
right
yeah.
here.
I see where this is going.
After
Get the
performing
cabbage out.
Let me swab it first.
Yeah, I got the corned beef. You got the cabbage.
Corned beef. Put it in the corned beef.
After performing an examination, Long proclaimed that her discomfort was due to a massive disease of the lungs, which were full of small ulcers. He suggested she inhale vapors from his weird piano hookah and allow for the topical application of his famous ointment.
Did he sell these hookahs out of like a storefront? Because if he didn't have a gift shop at his office, like he should have had a gift shop.
Oh, sure.
Just selling little hookahs.
I don't think he even
and
needed it.
selling cabbage, extra or just
Extra cabbage.
just like sculptures of cabbage.
Dude, he had a lot of overhead. I mean,
Make
he
sure
did
you
have
buy
a
some-
cabbage maker just constantly boiling it off in his office.
Now, is this medical grade cabbage?
This is, man, this is beyond medical grade cabbage. This is the best cabbage you can
Only the
get
best
in
for me, sir. I'll take it all.
That's right.
All this was happening while he was still on trial for the death of Catherine Cashin. Mrs. Lloyd went for her first treatment on October 6th and every day after.
Died October 8th.
On the 10th, she complained of violent chest pains and a full-body chill.
Suck it up, Lloyd.
Dude, I can only imagine what the fuck
is she inhaling? What's in that vapor?
By the next morning, she could not get out of bed.
Oh, boy.
A dark, black hole began to develop on her chest.
Did he actually cure?
Cold sun.
Did he cure?
Dude, this sounds so fucking gross.
Did he cure some people?
No.
Well,
if
anyone
got better, they got
it was
better.
accidental.
But not
No,
because
but what's the mortality rate of
survived
tuberculosis in this time period? Is
One
it
out of five survives.
Oh, 1 out of 5 survive. Oh, so that's a decent number.
You survived despite Dr.
So
John Long.
80% of your fucking patients are
die
gonna,
anyway.
Are gonna 1 in 5 survive.
1 in 5 survives. 4 in 5
so
die.
80% fucking
So you
die.
have great
Yeah,
coverage.
Okay, I take that back. I take that back.
But this is how gullible I am. When you said that's a decent number, I was like, is that a decent percentage of that pie chart? I was like, I thought that was a bad percentage.
But here's the thing: is
wrong?
so that high death rate,
losing a fucking
Yeah,
ton.
every-
the high
Everyone's
death
dying.
rate covers your ass, though, because you're probably going to die anyway.
If they die, it's a last ditch effort, and you're just like,
Fuck.
well,
But
we did our best.
It's the people you're killing who don't have it, like that lady that really
exactly.
hurt your practice.
And this lady's getting a hole on her. I'm like,
A dark
what
black
is-
hole being up on her
Is
chest,
she doing
surrounded by
Is
puffy
she doing
red skin.
bong rips with
Can
acid?
you-
Is that what this is?
This guy
is she
loves
doing
black
fucking bong
holes.
rips with
Yeah.
acid? Is that what's happening?
Probably.
This is insane.
He's like,
what a jerk.
Do you want a stoma in your chest? Well, I'm going to give you one.
Long was called, and he recommended an application of cabbage leaves.
Yeah.
Dude, this is his go-to.
Does he own a
Doctor-
cabbage farm?
Doctor-
Is that-
No, it's genius because it's so absurd that nobody would ever think that you're just making it up. If you had gone with something that's somewhat practical, people would question it. But cabbage is so outrageous that people
Think
just
of
buy
the
into
first
it.
guy who peed on someone that got stung by a jellyfish. He was like, dude, they'll just buy this. I'll try it out. And then it worked.
Or
Yeah,
like the person who's like, hey, you got sprayed by a skunk, tomato soup. Go bathe in it.
And then
You're
that
like,
person that got peed on with the jellyfish was like, well, I kind of like being peed on when there's no jellyfish. Golden shower
There
is
we go.
created.
Donald Trump, and here we are.
By now, the redness had spread to her arms, and the black hole, which was growing bigger every day, came with a nasty discharge.
I can see her ribs.
And
Literally,
the
can see her
husband's
ribs.
like, she's not fucking well. She's not.
She's puking out of the black
It
hole.
smells really bad.
There's a new hole, but I can't fuck it. It's,
This time,
it's
Long
disgusting.
took her condition
That's so
seriously.
gross. I feel ashamed that I
Long's like, wait a second. I need to go to medical school right now.
No, he took it seriously. He called in the best medical experts in the country.
I need
and
to
they
call
worked on
some
her day
doctors.
and night.
They worked on her
Wait,
day and night.
he did?
They worked on her day
He's
and
like,
night
God damn.
until
so he
she got
believed his
better.
own shit?
No, I'm totally lying right now.
Oh, you fucking asshole.
At first, he didn't even come to visit. He
You'll
said
be
her
fine.
necrotic chest was normal and prescribed 2 treatments. Hot
And
brandy.
said, stay away from plums.
Well, hot brandy was one treatment, and the other was for her to keep her head under the covers.
Aren't
Brandy.
all brandies hot? The ones I've
That's
met
right,
have
yeah,
been.
dude.
Hi-oh.
Hot brandy, chicken.
So keep your head under the covers. Why was the husband just Dutch ovening her or something?
Fart
It's like,
cure
keep your head-
holes.
it's really smelly. Just keep your whole body in the hole.
Take the
Fuck up
cabbage
house.
off the chest, eat it, and then when you're digesting it, fart under the covers for the Dutch oven.
When
Use
he
your
was-
brown hole to cure her black hole.
When he was finally persuaded to come to her home, he
a U?
chastised her.
Was it you or an O?
He was with both. He chastised her for not coming to see him at his office. She apologized, explaining she couldn't because there was a giant hole in her chest.
Listen,
This
you
is
bitch.
so
You
sad.
couldn't get the carriage to come to my office, you fucking whore.
He called for a towel, which he rubbed dry
Did he
on
throw-
the hole.
did he throw it in?
He rubbed
What?
He just rubbed a dry towel on the hole, saying that old linen was the best treatment for this sort of thing.
Was there no sandpaper around for him?
Old
guy-
linen.
What did she do when she...
Needless to say, she did not call for him again.
Yeah, okay. Well,
Other actual doctors came to see Miss Lloyd, but it was no use. 1 month after her first visit with Long, she was dead.
Another one bites the dust.
The autopsy produced some shocking results. Her chest showed a wound similar to that of Catherine Cashin. It was 16 inches long.
Oh, my God.
9 inches
That's
wide.
that's like a big black dingus.
that's like this big.
And 2 inches deep.
Her whole chest was eaten alive.
There was also significant erosion of her tongue and mouth. Her internal organs, including her lungs, were perfectly fine.
Can we have a guess
Go figure.
before you reveal what they've been inhaling?
Yeah.
I would like to just.
Well, don't worry.
We'll have a vote on.
I'll
what
let
we
you guys
think
do
it
that.
is. Okay.
At her trial, the other doctors testified on Lloyd's overall health. He was quickly charged with her death. I forgot to say that. At the trial, the other doctors testified on Lloyd's overall health and methods of Long. Other than her sore throat, she had been perfectly healthy in the monthly before her visit with Long. One of her doctors, Mr. W.A. Campbell, gave testimony.
Another classic comedy of errors.
Last name was Campbell.
Quote,
Are you going to be honest? Folks, I can't bullshit my way through this one.
on
I'm very honest.
examination, I found a very extensive wound covering the wile material part of the breast. I should think a very strong acid would produce such a wound. The skin was entirely destroyed and laid separated in folds on the chest. There was a considerable discharge from the whole of the wound, which extended nearly from one armpit to the other. The skin was off both breasts. The discharge was of dark color. I applied a dressing, having, I rather think, removed the cabbage leaves previously to doing so.
And threw them on the floor in disgust.
Dude, some people actually survive this treatment, though.
It was a simple spermaceti ointment, the usual dressing in that case. From the very moment I saw the wound, I thought it was dangerous to life.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not a doctor, and I agree.
Campbell and the other doctor, Mr. Vance, both
Mr.
testified.
Vance sounds like a stripper in the South.
Everyone here has fucked up names.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Mr. Vance.
All of history is full of
I
hilarious
picture him
names.
being dressed as a teacher, like as a gym teacher, and he comes out and then rips his clothes off.
I pictured Bagger Vance.
He comes out in a sweater with elbow patches, and he rips off the elbow patches to expose.
Yeah.
Oh, isn't this a lot of thing, ladies of 1850?
He's got elbow patches on his wiener.
That's where I put him.
Mr. Vance.
The jury was taken to see Mrs. Lloyd's body at her home.
Whoa, that's intense.
What? We're going on a field trip?
But the
They do
real
that.
show was yet to come.
They're like, hey, don't touch the black hole, guys, unless you want that on your body.
During his trial, Long spoke at length in his own defense. He complained about the negative press he had received,
You media are your pieces of shit. You don't get the cabbage.
asking the jury to ignore the papers that were trying to prejudice them against him. He told them of the countless people he had cured,
None.
who would no doubt
20%.
be in their graves were it not for his treatments.
None.
He even went as far as to blame Campbell and Vance, claiming it was their intervention in his methods that actually caused her death.
One of these doctors should have killed him. Just taking it
this
for the
is
team.
right there.
Just taking it for the team and killed him before he could kill more people.
on a piece of cabbage that he throws, like
yeah,
jams down his throat.
a
and
cabbage
chokes on
shank.
it.
If only they had let his old towels and cabbage do their work, Mrs. Lloyd would still be alive.
Do you think that...
The old towel defense.
do you think when he walked down the street, people used to bring cabbage for him to sign? Like autograph?
I would.
That's what you.
I
got
heard
for
he would
that?
go
I
bowling
would.
with a cabbage head.
Is
of
it cabbage bowls?
I heard he had a jacket with just a giant cabbage leaf on the back of it, so everyone knew who he was.
I heard that he was in the cabbage business. So that was the whole point of this, was just
Probably
to sell
was.
the family cabbage. In response to the many actual doctors
I heard
who
the
testified,
MMA fighter Cabbage actually took his name from this.
Cabbage Correa.
They originally called it cabbage ear instead of cauliflower, but then they had to change it.
Because of Dr. John.
That's right. That was an MMA
Dr.
reference
John
of some
St.
sort.
John Long.
St. John Long.
In response to the many actual doctors who had testified against him, he argued that they were just jealous because he made 3 to 4 times as much money as they did.
Good point, though. See, I'm with this guy. If I were on the jury, I would be 100% behind Long.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I like where he's going with this. I like his defense. It's creative.
It's also the classic defense of
So you voted
any-
for Trump.
I voted for Long.
I'll vote for Long right now.
That defense has stuck around for any fat girl who dressed sluttily on
You're just
like Jerry
jealous.
Springer, when they'd go on to
So he invented a lot of things here.
Then he called dozens of witnesses, members of high society he had met at parties, who testified about his doctoral greatness.
He was just at the filibuster. He's wasting time to slow the jury
He's like, hey,
down.
Phil, I killed another woman. Do you mind coming back down to the courthouse and
Sure, pal. Why
vouching
not?
for me?
What do you mean? What do you need? Should I just say she was, I don't know,
Well, just
syphilitic?
say I was a great doctor. That's all.
That's
It's
it?
cool. Yeah. No, you don't have to do anything crazy. It'll only take like a few minutes.
All his witnesses were in the cabbage business.
Should I bring some of my friends? Yeah, Mr. Cabbage and Mr. Purple.
Cabbage Mafia.
The Cabbage Mafia is all in there. Hey, we have a little trial coming up. Just want to make sure you fall on the right side of this thing.
The cabbage. We got to keep the cabbage stuff going.
You want
the
to get
cabbage.
shredded? We have experience in shredding.
And some rhubarb farmers as well.
The jury deliberated for less than an hour.
Whoa.
But
very
also,
quick.
the plum industry has been decimated by
Yeah.
his
Destroyed.
allegations.
They got fucked.
They returned a verdict of not guilty.
Yes! Yes!
What?
Long lives to practice medicine another day.
I always love your surprise when people are not guilty on this show.
Well, because it's like obvious, but I mean, obviously we're in hindsight reading about this hundreds of years later, but still, you're just like, the guy's he's a shill and he's a crazy elixir
But
salesman,
back
and
then,
he's murdering
he was
people.
This guy is a fucking entrepreneur.
Yeah, exactly.
At the highest level.
Yep.
And I don't like you besmirching
I think
his
people
good
take
name.
the first thing that they've been told. So, like in court, when he's like, "They're just jealous that I make more money than them," everyone in the jury is just like,
Oh,
"Well,
yeah,
their
that's a
case
good
closed.
point.
He's right."
Good point.
Yeah.
These poor doctors.
Yeah.
Comedy of errors, now the jealousy defense. I love it.
In spite of all the evidence that John St. John Long was a total quack, his business never suffered. Medical journals criticized his methods. Famous doctors wrote scathing editorials.
Jealous.
People died,
They're
but
just
none
jelly.
of it
They're
could
just jelly.
overcome the power of his celebrity.
The cabbage.
In June 1831, he won a libel suit against one of the papers and was awarded £100 in the judgment.
Jesus.
What
So
was that
this
like in
is-
those days?
He went on the attack.
Well, if $250 was like $30,000, 100 it's going to be like 10 grand.
10 or 15 grand, yeah.
But the universe is not without a sense of irony.
Oh.
On July 2nd, 1834,
He got TB.
He got
John
cabbaged.
St. John Long died at the age of 35.
Oh, he's only, wait, let's go. Wait, all this happened before
35.
And he was only 35.
Yeah.
But back then,
I thought it
35 was like 60.
35 was, yeah, 35 was
No, what I
just
thought
like
it
money.
was like
just like money.
50.
The inflation rate was
35?
35.
Holy shit.
According to many historians, the cause was consumption. He reportedly refused to use his own treatment.
Oh, you piece of
Now,
shit.
there's a historical debate as to whether it was consumption in this story. Some people say it's apocryphal and that he really was like killed by a cart,
jealous cabbage
a horse cart
salesman?
accident.
Yeah, that happened all the time.
The
in those
cabbage
days.
mafia shut him down for
Yeah,
fucking up their
absolutely.
business.
Yeah, he slipped on a cabbage and broke his hip and then died.
You're giving cabbage a bad name, Long.
They put a cabbage in his tailpipe on his horse.
They put a head of cabbage
In his bed.
In his bed.
Ah! A fellow Irishman reportedly purchased Long's secret formula for £10,000,
Wait, £10,000?
about $1.2 million in today's money.
Holy
That's
Wow.
like when a comic sells a shitty joke to another comic. It's
Yeah,
like,
dude.
hey, I got something
Now,
for
are you guys ready to guess what was in
Yes.
the formula?
Can I guess?
All right, Ryan, go ahead. What
I
do you
think
got?
it's sulfuric acid.
Okay, that's a good start.
I'm
That's a
going
good
to
start.
say venom from rattlesnakes mixed with mother's milk with tarantula fur.
That's actually a really good guess.
I'm just going to go with almond milk. I'm going to go the under here.
No one knows that the investment paid off, but supposedly a sample was later analyzed and was found to be made of vinegar, egg yolk, and turpentine.
Oh.
So the turpentine's a kind of... Is it acid? I mean, it's a
Well,
it's a
it will
corrosive.
definitely
It's a corrosive.
it'll definitely put a black hole in your lung.
Yeah.
So people were inhaling the turpentine, like
Turpentine.
smoking it.
The egg yolk. How did they vaporize the egg yolk?
I don't know. You can just make it hot enough, bitch.
You
That's
put
all you gotta
anything-
do.
You put anything in a vaporizer, by the way.
Well,
just
I mean,
vape.
I'm talking in 1800.
Bruh, just vape,
yes,
bruh.
it is.
That's a
Fucking-
good
Come
point.
on.
That's a good argument.
But turpentine, wow.
Long was buried in an elaborate tomb in North London, paid for by his loyal patients.
Paid for by the following.
It is adorned with the following inscription. Quote, "It is the fate of most men to have many enemies and few friends.
Really? Really?
This monument pile is not intended to mark the career, but to show how much its inhabitant was respected by those who knew his worth, and the benefits derived from his remedial discovery. He is now at rest, and far beyond the praises or censures of this world. Stranger, as you respect the receptacle of the dead, as one of the many who will rest here, read the name of John St. John Long without comment."
Oh,
Fucking what a...
Jesus.
Fuck you, John. Can we
epitaph-
just say a fuck you to him right now?
All right, yeah.
Fuck you, John Long.
St. John Long.
St. John
We
Long.
should go to his
Fucking
grave
asshole.
and take a dump
What
on
a
it.
fucking... And his patients paid for that, even after like the
His
turpentine
heads-
thing?
his
What a bunch of
headstone is
fucking
don't
tools.
Power
talk
of
shit.
celebrity, man.
What a bunch
Power
of fucking
celebrity.
tools.
If I ever visit that area, I'm bringing a bottle of turpentine and a head
but-
of cabbage.
Oh,
and I'll
yeah.
leave it right there.
I'm
And
gonna
then you
shit on his
think
grave.
of all
I
the
won't do
people
that, but, you know.
the celebrities that killed people that still
Get
like
worshipped.
Vince Neil.
Oh, yeah.
Vince Neil killed someone?
Yeah, dude, the
Probably
guy
by
from
accident, by rocking too hard.
Caitlyn
Saigon
Jenner.
Kick, the lead singer of Saigon Kick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, so how did he kill him? Like,
He was
murdered him?
wasted. He got into his Pantera and he was fucking flying down the road and he ran into another car head on. I think he severely injured that other person.
I didn't
and
realize
killed-
Pantera was a car. Was it only sold
Yeah,
below the
it's a
Mason-Dixon
badass
line?
Yeah,
badass
Tito
little racer
Mas,
car.
dude.
It's a badass little race
They
car.
also made
Of course he knows, yeah.
Mangusta, which was an interesting. I think I'm pronouncing it correctly. It was an interesting version before the Pantera, but the Pantera came out. It had like a 351 Cleveland Ford engine in there.
Cleveland.
Don't get him started.
Yeah, no, we
It's a very powerful engine.
The open wheels just came off of this show.
Yeah.
But then they remade. Then they brought them back in the 80s, mid 80s.
When the band got big, they're like, hey, I think this is a good time. It's a good time.
That's the story of John St. John Long, everybody.
Yeah,
that's
it's great. It was
That's who
fucking
this fucking
awfully
guy
bad,
was.
too.
I don't
feel
like
bad for
that he
people.
felt the need to, like, he's like, look, a lot of these people are going to be dead long after I'm dead. So I'm just going to put this, like, fucking warning thing
Yeah.
on my tombstone.
Just don't talk shit, please.
Yeah, sleep here without comment.
Guy was
Leave
a
me
real
alone.
cunt. He was a huge cunt.
How selfish
absolutely.
are people too that would be your concern? Like, I want my image, after I'm fucking dead. That's
Yeah.
more important than the fact. Like, don't talk shit.
Well, I saw
you
his
fucking
painting.
killed a bunch of people. You cock.
His painting was pretty good.
But he
made it into a major gala.
Yeah,
Like,
no
should've
wonder.
stuck with
Turpentine.
it.
He used
he was on the way.
Should have stuck
As
with
a painter,
it.
he used turpentine, which
I
you can thin out
guarantee
your
you.
oil
Yes,
paint. with
that's
turpentine.
right. That's where he fucking got it from.
What
And
a
egg
fucking-
yolk was also
Used for
yes.
Tempera paint. Yeah.
Yes. And wait, what was the first ingredient?
Vinegar.
Come.
Oh, vinegar also probably
Tastes good on
involved-
everything. Tastes good on everything.
Oh,
That's all I'm
man.
going to say.
Yeah.
Vinegar's great on everything.
You know,
You know
I-
how bad that must have been? Like the taste of that.
Oh, sure.
Vaporized would have been
The
terrible.
egg yolk helps it go down a
but
lot
medicine
smoother.
is traditionally like awful tasting.
No, but the turpentine, like on your lungs,
But
must
you
have
would
been.
convince yourself like, medicine
I
always tastes
guess.
bad. Just take you another hit. Fix
Yeah,
yourself.
if you have a kid
bomb.
who hates the taste of medicine, you're like, well, in the 1800s.
Take a bong
Tastes a
rip
lot
of this
better than that.
turpentine.
God,
Never take a
damn.
bong rip with old Johnny Long.
I'm just not taking bongers anymore. I don't trust any of you guys after that story.
Today's sources include London by Gaslight, SmithsonianMagazine.com, FootTalk.blogspot.com.
Oh, that's a hot comment
That was the
section.
one. That's where we got all the corn stuff. Was
Oh,
from
it
Foot Talk.
used to be a magazine that would be mailed to your
Foot Talk.
home. I got it for a
Foot
while.
Talk the magazine. The Lancet, JerryWalton.com, the
Jerry
Tate
Walton.
Museum.
Jerry Walton?
GERI Walton.com.
Is he a historian?
I have no idea.
A homeless man named Bob who stays on Fairfax and
Yeah, we
Santa
want to give
Monica.
props to everyone. We're very grateful for all the help.
Tate.org.uk, the Bulletin of
If you're
Johns
homeless.
Hopkins Hospital, Volume 5, the London Annual Register for 1831, Chronicles of Crime by Camden Pelham, and, of course, the evil robots at Wikipedia.
How many hours of research goes into each show?
Oh, dude.
Each
2 months.
The
per
production
episode.
of each episode from start to finish probably takes me about 10 to 12 hours a week.
Wow.
It's a serious
That's
fucking
a part-time job.
Between research, writing, and then editing the podcast.
How
on the
many
back
hours
end.
does it take you to prepare?
I come here for about, I work on a lot of other back end stuff. Like,
Oh, the back end
graphics and-
stuff?
Yeah, graphics
like
and,
washing his asshole while he's doing work?
I lick it. I
He's
toss
my
this
cabbage
out.
applicator.
He has,
So.
he has an office chair with a hole in it, and I lay underneath it.
You're,
like a
you're the
weird-
John St. Long
Yeah.
of podcast.
yeah, let's get some more turpentine and get the hell
Hey!
out of here, right, boys?
How dare you make me come over here? You come to my house
That's right.
to record.
That's right.
I have because of the show. I have paid about $30 in late library fees because I just check out books and forget that I have them.
But you're getting a world of knowledge that no one really
and
cares
sharing
about.
it with the world. And now people won't go to bad podiatrists after this
It's an
episode.
interesting story, but part of me has to admire the cabbage. What a great little twist.
The cabbage is great.
Yeah.
You've been impressed by that cabbage since
Yeah,
it first
you
got
love
out.
it.
Because I
Think
multiple
about
times
it.
through the
He's
episode.
an Irishman.
He went for it, man, because he's like, this is either people are going to fucking laugh their ass off at this, or it's just going to take. There's no in between when you go with cabbage as a medical treatment.
It's just that he had such a guru following is so funny. Like, even with people dying, they're like, dude, he would never do that. I know this man well.
He was like
John
the
I know.
he was like the Hatha yoga. Who's that guy who like the yoga instructor who fucked everybody?
Oh,
That's a lot of yoga
Bikram.
instructors.
Bikram. He's the
he's
Bikram
great.
of his time.
But they still have guys doing shit like this for cancer and stuff. You know, like
They
doing
still have guys doing this
crazy-
shit for this for comedy. They book the main room on occasion.
Oh, there's a sucker for everything.
There's actually someone sucking Rich's dick right now under the
I
table.
mean,
to get on this.
I'm sure
Under
there's
the
somebody.
table, he's not paying him above board.
yeah.
There's
Keep me off the books,
no
please.
taxes, buddy.
There's somebody
Keep the cum off
preaching
the books.
cabbage as a medical treatment. I mean,
That
have you
was really
seen the
good.
bullshit that they pawn off as holistic?
Oh, yeah.
Gwyneth Paltrow
Crazy.
started vagina steaming, which they say is like extremely harmful for your pussy.
Oh, great.
It's
She
arguable.
started, but she like promoted it.
It's arguable.
Is that,
She'll
was
do
that
our-
to get
It's
the
arguable.
It's
Well, it's
arguable
bad?
because my wife went and did that when she was when we
Is it
were
to get the
working
wrinkles
pregnant.
out?
No, it's supposed to be healthy. There's like herbs and stuff like that. It's supposed to feel good. It's like a,
it's like a bong rip for your
bidet.
pussy.
It is. My
How
wife
your
did
pussy
it.
nails?
And her pussy's just terrific still. It never it didn't fuck anything up. No, it didn't fuck
It feels
anything
like
up.
it's brand new.
It feels like a brand new beaver. It's
Does
really
it smell
good.
like a brand new car in there?
No. That'd be weird if you
Do
went
they-
down, pulled the pan out.
After you get it steamed, do they give you
Yeah.
one of those Christmas tree
Like, I
air
don't want to fuck or
fresheners?
go to the Honda
They just put a
dealership. I'm
sticker,
so-
come back in the next 5,000 miles. Guys, where can people find... You guys have the Danish and O'Neill show?
Yes, we have the Danish and O'Neill podcast. You can find that at Danish and O'Neill on iTunes and on SoundCloud.
Right on.
And we sell cabbage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That you can put on your wounds.
We're going to.
You can put it wrapped around your dick, and it's like a condom.
You can eat it too, but we recommend it for
I love eating
consumption.
cabbage, but yeah.
edible condom.
That is consumption.
I know. Get it?
I'm so confused by
I
your
know.
doctoring. Fuck, man.
That's how they get you.
How am I going to cure this thing? don't know.
I know a doctor who he bragged about when people would question, and he would throw out big terms that they wouldn't understand and make them feel stupid, and then they would stop asking questions.
If you want to feel smart, go ahead and follow the show on Instagram or Twitter.
And
at
what is the
Crime
full
Pod.
name? At Crime Pod.
Yeah, at Crime. It's
I
called
saw the
Crime
Twitter
with an exclamation point.
Yes,
is our
okay.
name of our show. Crime Pod is at Crime Pod for Twitter and Instagram. You can email us if you want to ask us questions, give us show ideas, dick pics, whatever. Email us, crimepodcast@gmail.com. Send John Shefsky dick pics.
I don't want any dick pics. I'll be really pissed. I'll be one of the fucking episodes on there of me murdering you. It's
great.
Get people to send me dick pics.
I have an email dedicated just for tit pics.
Yeah? Are you a tit guy?
Well, no, just for people that listen to the podcast.
Want to say tit pics?
I got thousands of.
What do you guys
tit
talk
pics.
about on your podcast?
We talk about current events.
Okay.
And
is it just
you guys seem
or
very
us too?
serious?
Yeah.
It's a news story. It's a news show.
It's news, but it's like news for idiots.
Yeah.
It's like
it's like horse fucking.
Yeah, horse
and,
fucking and the like.
Well, we have an episode for you, actually.
Is it about horse fucking?
Yeah, we have a horse fucking episode.
Oh, if only we could have
really?
been on.
Yeah, with the great Tony Hinchcliffe was the guest for
Is
that
it the
one.
one where? Oh, it's perfect.
Yeah,
Brought me
perfect for
in
that.
because of my face.
The Golden Pony talking about horse fucking. Yeah. It was great.
Did you? Was that the one where the guy got fucked by the horse and died from the documentary?
That's an adjacent story
Spoiler alert!
to that story. Well, this one will come out way after that one.
Oh, it hasn't. Oh, it hasn't even aired.
Episode hasn't come out yet.
This is for a private collection. This is for investor.
Okay,
But
okay.
We don't release these. It's very embarrassing.
The story that we do on that one is adjacent to the death by horsecock story. Like they're
Okay.
some of the same players go from one story to the
Yeah, of
other.
course, it's a small
Yeah.
community.
Oh, it is a community.
It's larger than you think, and I learned that by the research
Wait,
I had
the
to do
horse
for the show.
cocks or
Yeah.
the community?
I was going to say, they say that a lot. That
I spent
It's
more
larger
time
you
than
think.
anybody should on animal love message boards.
If his wife looks at his browser history, it's gonna be like, what the
Zoophile
fuck?
message boards. is
You
what
are
they are.
you were being you're definitely being monitored by a
Wait,
lot of different
you
places.
actually went in and were
You
chatting
went-
with
you
people.
went
No,
undercover.
I went and
You
took
fucked 4
quotes.
horses
Yeah.
just so you could.
He's a real good immersive journalist. He had sex with a
I'm
lot of
actually
animals.
I'm actually dead.
You
This
called
has
it
been-
the 4 Horsemen.
I've been dead by horsecock the entire
Poor
time.
horse, man.
Guys, if you like this, please support the Patreon. It's Crime Podcast or just Crime on Patreon.
Are you only on Patreon?
I know we're on iTunes and
okay.
Patreon. They can get, everyone can go. You get all of our bonus episodes, all of our secret episodes, all the extra little mini stories,
Pictures
Also,
of
you
your assholes.
Yeah, the pictures of our assholes.
Oh,
you
really?
get our.
Can I sell some of my pictures of my asshole?
Yeah,
on there?
that would be that would be your bonus
That'll
episode
be our
contribution.
next. That'll be our next gift level.
Okay.
You can get the signed
You should
strips.
just sell cabbage
pages.
now.
Yeah. You know what? We'll throw cabbage in at the $100 gift
I
level.
fucking love cabbage. Every time it gets mentioned, I'm just like, I just think of corned beef
I'll
and cabbage.
cabbage you
I
right
fucking
now.
love cabbage.
So support the show
Yeah,
because
guys.
you like it.
Thank you guys so much.
Also, guys, I brought you a special little vape.
Gross.
Oh, yeah?
Take a little vape off.
I don't feel
I'll
good about
turpentine
anything
my
after
vape.
this. Thanks for coming and doing
Thanks,
this,
Danish
guys.
and
You guys
O'Neill.
are a blast.
Thank
Thanks,
you
Danish
for
and
having
O'Neill.
us.
It's been very funny, guys.
Fun, man.
And we'll see you next time. Bye, robot.
Bye, robot. There.